hope everyone is having an absolutely wonderful morning. I've been doing a million things this morning, and that's why I'm a little bit slow out of the blocks, but we're going to have a great day. I guarantee it. I guarantee we are going to have an amazing day. So with that being said, if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background, get in the box. We are only looking for some debates. If you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background, get in the box. We're only looking for some debates. If you're a friendly, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. We got the little pink heart puffs as the daily gift goal. Can we knock those out, please? Let's get it started.
You stepped in the box. Now you're in the ring. Ain't no hugs here. You better take your best swing. Mike Hot, who wanna step in the flame? This ain't a debate, this a mind game. Facts type lies, get left in chain. One wrong word, you slapped out your name. This ain't TikTok T, this a war zone talk. No script, no filter, no safe walk. Bring stats to get scrambled like a glitch. I got fire in my mouth like I came from the pit. Yeah, step in if you dare. Truth hit hard like a punch in the air. Ain't no rules, no plan, no script. One wrong move, get cooked real quick. No cap, no shield. Better know your stuff or you get revealed. Step in, don't you wanna? Sparring with Santana. I don't care what you claim or your background. Facts only, if not, get clapped down. Whether you're left or right or you don't even vote. If your logic is weak, I'll sink your boat. You talk slick, but you ain't got source. Just vibes, that ain't power, that's force. I'm the test, the trap, the trip, the call. You slip once, I'm snatching it all. Yeah. Step in if you dare. Hit hard like a punch in the air. Ain't no rules, no plan, no script. Yeah. One wrong move, get cooked real quick. No cap, no shield. Nope. Better know your stuff or you get revealed. Step in, don't you wanna? Sparring with Santana. Step in if you dare. You hit hard like a punch in the air. Ain't no rules, no plan, no script. One wrong move, get cooked real quick. No cap, no shield. Better know your stuff or you get revealed. Step in, don't you wanna? Sparring with Santana.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Noah.
Step in, don't you wanna?
He said it's snowing in Washington. I don't know about that. Good morning. How are we doing over on the YouTubes? How are we doing on Twitch? I forgot to get Instagram in here. Let's get Instagram in here. Guys, welcome in. This is Sparring with Santana. 101 debates with Trump supporters or anyone that disagrees with anything on the background. I am Santana. And I'm looking for some debates. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We are looking for some debates, and it's time for a change in America. So if you disagree with anything on the background, or if you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're a friendly, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It will boost the live. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background?
Yes, I disagree because I don't think you should defund the military.
Okay. All right. We can definitely talk about that. Your username is okay or Cola. How do you want me to say your username?
Clara.
Say it one more time.
Clara.
Clara. Mm-hmm. Okay. Perfect. Clara. And just to verify, Clara, are you an American citizen?
No.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background. We're only looking for some debates. And it's time to change. It's time for a change to America. It's time to change the United States of America. And while I appreciate people who are internationally located and, you guys may have some opinions, we are only looking for some debates, and we're only looking for debates for people that is inside of the United States of America. So if you are not inside of the United States of America, listen, I'm not saying that your opinion is not valid, but I am saying it doesn't matter here today. Not here, not right now, not as far as debating the topic on the background. I appreciate you being here. I would love for you to tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me, help boost the live. I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to these little 1-cent gift goals. I want you here, but you have to understand that this morning we're talking about changing the United States of America. And yeah, I'm looking to debate those people who are here who want to actually change it. With that being said, the couple of things that, of course, is the easiest and quickest way, think of that, to actually change the country. And the first thing we have to do is remove men leader. We have to remove men leaders. That's an easy dub. That's an easy dub. Next thing, number 2, we have to absolutely defund the military. That's important. That's super important. Number 3, we need a new United States Constitution. Got to have it. Got to have it. Number 4, DEI everything. If you don't know what that is, then come up here and talk to me about it. And last but not least, we got to end white privilege. That's the one that a lot of people haven't been pushing back on lately. And I think we've gotten to the point where people pretty much understand and accept that like white privilege is the bane of everyone's existence. And they're willing to go ahead and give it up. So I think that's an easy win. I think everyone's on board with that one. But if you disagree with anything on the background, get in the box. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly, tap the screen, share the live. Guys, can we knock out the chili peppers, please? Please. Can we knock out the chili peppers? If you are over on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and you want to actually debate me, guess what? You don't have to leave the platform you're on. All you got to do is click that link. All you have to do is click that link. And you will be able to join me for a debate. You don't have to actually somehow jump to some other platform. The only thing that you have to do is click that link. No takers? No takers? Hey, Vivian. I thought not. All right. Well, with that being said, as we wait for someone to actually muster up the courage. I know for a fact that lately they've been, I don't want to say timid, but they have been timid. They've been really scared, specifically of me, not of other people, because I see Trump supporters hanging out in their echo chambers. I see them going up and debating other people. I see them, standing on business and all this other stuff with, all around TikTok, but they don't necessarily come here. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background?
I am not a Trump supporter, but I do kind of want some clarification on the removal and leader.
Okay, you're kind of cutting in and out. Guys, keep tapping the screen, share the live. Let's get the likes up to 25,000 likes, please. Let's get the likes up to 25,000 likes, please. Also, while we wait for this person to, check their audio, Debbie's in the chat for Jared for the $1 donation. They want to start the morning off with some something positive. Finally got another interview and wanted to celebrate with my community. Holy smokes. Debbie's in the chat for Jared. Debbie's in the chat for Jared. Congratulations. You're going to kill it and knock it out of the water. I know for sure you're absolutely going to knock that one out of the water. Debbie's in the chat for Jared for that. Debbie's in the chat for Manders, who sent a $1 donation, and Manders said, Santana, F you and your fish had me cackling into my driving to work this morning. Love you, fam. Have a fabulous Friday. I love you as well. And you have an amazing Friday yourself. Debbie's in the chat for Manders. Hi, Sarah. Are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on? Okay. All right. Let's see here. And last but not least, Debbie's in the chat for Becca. Becca sent a $5 donation saying, not sure if we should be claiming the term sleeper cells. Please know it's fear mongering. Please look into where the term originated from. Sorry to bring this up now, but it's from a few days ago. Yeah, I mean, if you're saying that there's something wrong with calling, people who are lying and waiting for to actually strike, if that's fear mongering or whatever the case may be, I hear you. It's the term that was actually used. It's a term that I've heard used multiple times, but I have no issue with looking into it and actually seeing what I can find about it. But, we'll go from there. Anyway, W's in the chat for all the donors. Oh, sorry. One more here. W's in the chat for John. John over on YouTube sent a $4.99 YouTube super chat to say, heard you on Parker's Live. You introduced me to Gomez Days of Rah-Rah. The insight completely evolved my understanding of race. Love from New Mexico. I love you as well, John. And I'm happy that you were able to actually find that information. I'm telling you, listen, like Swan and Solid, and you know, those are the first people that I heard talking about Gomez Days of Rah-Rah, and I had to go look that up myself, and I was like, huh, that's wild. Anyway, W's in the chat, thank you so much for that. Again, guys, only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly, tap the screen, share the live, knock out the daily gift goal. I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to these little 1-cent gift goals. Guys, sharing the live is great. Sharing it once or twice, that's really great. But reposting the live actually helps way more. So share the live once or twice, that's cool. We don't want to share too much, but reposting the live helps so much. So please, please, please repost the live. And again, I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to these little 1-cent gift goals so we can get pushed out to the FYP. I'm going to make it the Heart Puffs. American Advocate, you can leave the request. You're not getting up here. I don't understand why you keep trying. Like I gave you a shot on late nights. I'm not going to debate you. Like, you're not a serious person. I have no interest in debating you. You're not a serious person. Anyway, like I said, only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background? Okay. All right. All right. As we wait for someone, welcome in Facts Raid. I think I said it. American Advocate, you can stop spamming. I'm not letting you up. I'm not. As we wait for someone to actually get the courage to get in the box, there's a couple of things that I want to make sure that we talk about this morning. A couple of things that I wanted to actually ensure that you guys had heard about. One thing that I talked about last night, but I want to make sure that we cover it this morning. I think is really, really important. So let's see. We're going to start here. All right. Has anyone caught a flight lately? And has anyone caught a flight lately? Anyone traveled within the last couple of weeks? Or is everybody grounded? Yeah. Okay. So for those who've been flying within the last couple of weeks, you already know what I'm about to say. But for anyone who has not been traveling within the last couple of weeks, guess what? If you got plans to travel anytime soon, guess what? TSA is about to start missing checks again. So this boils back down to the fact that DHS still hasn't received proper funding. The House and the Senate has been going back and forth as far as funding DHS, and that's specifically because of the fact that ICE is out of pocket, ICE is out of line, and there's been a stalemate as far as negotiations and then as far as passing funding for DHS, right? And so since the DHS has not been funded, they've specifically started to strategically furlough certain people and shut down certain areas. If you notice that, like, if you've traveled, TSA PreCheck has been an area that's been impacted where there are not as many TSA PreChecks open, or some even shut down. I think they shut down Clear as well. So they specifically targeted those actual portions of travel that's gonna, like, you know, it's gonna create longer lines. But this comes from The Hill. It says TSA workers set to miss the first paycheck with no end to the shutdown in sight. TSA workers are set to miss their first full paycheck on Friday, which is today, as efforts to negotiate a bipartisan compromise to reopen the Department of Homeland Security have largely stalled in Congress. 1 second here. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background?
I have a family member.
I can't understand. Your audio is like kind of cutting in and out.
Sorry. I have a family member who.
You have a what?
A family member who is.
Okay, are they there now and they want to debate?
No, I just want to give the reason.
Okay. Well, you can come back and tell them to come debate me when they're here and they're available. Guys, only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It'll boost the live, push us out to the FYP. I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal. If we can knock those out a couple of times, that'll help boost the live. If you're over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. It'll help boost the VOD and push us out. And again, if you're over on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, click that link. Click the link. You don't have to come over to TikTok to debate. All you have to do is click the link, get up here, and we can debate. Click the link, get up here, and we can debate. Now, like I was saying, nearly 4 weeks into the partial government shutdown, the third to affect DHS employees in recent months, which is crazy. Both parties are digging their heels in and holding out hope that their constituents will reward them with refusing to yield in the standoff. Democrats are saying they're willing to fund many of the agencies' houses under DHS, including TSA, but will not vote for ICE or Custom Borders and Patrol, ICE or CPB, without significant reforms to their operations. Republicans, meanwhile, say many of the demands are non-starters and accuse Democrats of rebuffing efforts to sit down and negotiate. But against backdrops of a divided Congress, TSA officers are forced to work without pay as airports face extended wait times and flight delays, disruptions that are expected to worsen as lawmakers make an impasse. TSA officers received roughly 30% of their pay in their paycheck 2 weeks ago, but on Friday, today, they'll miss their first full paycheck while they'll still be expected to show up to work, sparking a concern that staffing shortages could soon worsen once more as TSO decides to seek other employment. So what is this? What does this mean? What does this mean? Wait, what did Keith say? If you want and believe the claims, why don't you leave the USA and go somewhere where you want it to exist? Keith, how about instead of you actually being a coward and hiding down in my comments, you get in the box and debate me? I've muted you. I've muted you because I don't give a shit about you being a thumb thug. If you actually have something to say, then all you got to do is click the request button at the bottom and you can come up here and say it, bub. If you don't say it with your chest, then you don't get to say it at all. I don't care about your comments from the comments. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. The only way anyone's going to be able to hear anything that you have to say is by you clicking that request button and getting up here. If you're scared, just say you're scared. Oh, you can't even say you're scared because you're muted. So we're just going to take it as you're scared because I still haven't seen you request up. Yeah. Keith is a coward, chat. Baby Bottle's in the chat for Keith. He's a coward. He's scared to come up and debate. He's scared. If you don't like it here, why don't you go to a country where you can have, this is my country. This is my country, you fucking snowflake. You go somewhere else. This is my country. This is a multiracial country. America's always been a multiracial country. I'm saving the culture of America by ensuring that our country stays multiracial like it was created. Our founding fathers wanted this to be a multiracial country that's not based on any religion. And I'm saving the country. I'm making sure that we continue to be a multiracial country with no religion at the forefront, because that's what our country was founded on. That's what America was founded on. So you leave the country, snowflake. This is our country. This is my country, not yours. Yeah, that's what I thought, Keith. That's what I thought. Anyway, as I was saying, and for the snowflakes and the in the YouTube comments, you can click the link and come up here too. But if you're not going to click the link, thank you for the cake. If you're not going to click the link, then guess what you're not going to do? You're not going to yip yap in my YouTube chat. You're not safe either. You're not safe. Anyway, so with the fact that TSA is shutting down again, or at the very least, sorry, not shutting down, but the fact that their paychecks are going to be affected again, this speaks to where we are as a country. This speaks to the lack of ability for the Republicans to actually govern. Like, that's the one thing that everyone has to understand, which is super interesting to me, why like Republicans continue to vote for Republican politicians. Like, what's the point of voting for Republican politicians? Because they don't pass legislation. Like, yeah, they will absolutely pass legislation to give tax cuts to the millionaires and billionaires. Like, they do that. Like, they pass that legislation, but they don't pass any other legislation. Like, all the stuff that you guys said that you wanted to get done, they haven't passed any type of legislation to get any of that done. Donald Trump has done nothing but sign executive orders. And you know what keeps happening to those executive orders? They keep getting smacked down in the courts. They keep getting smacked down in the courts. But for some reason, you guys think that they're going to be able to, hey, Debbie's in the chat. Thank you so much for that. You think that they're going to be able to actually do anything or change your life, or like, even they can't even do like the harmful shit that you want them to do at a high enough level because they don't pass legislation. What are you talking about, Santana? Mass deportation. Mass deportation. Thank you for the cake. Has anyone noticed? Has anyone noticed that the actual the mass deportation efforts that were spreading all across the country, has anyone noticed that they've stopped the ICE raids? Has anyone noticed that they're not saying that they're going to quote unquote deport the illegals? Has anyone noticed that they've been on mute? That's because they're quietly telling people within ICE that mass deportations, it's a wrap, it's done. Pack it up. That's not the agenda anymore. They're not doing it anymore. They're not focusing on mass deportations anymore. That's why they've been so quiet. They're in Vermont. Yes, they're still around. I'm not saying they're not around. I'm not saying they're not still around. Hear me when I say this. Be very clear. ICE is still around, but their actual efforts, the efforts that they were implementing, trying to get ICE everywhere, they're not doing that anymore. Just watch. Just watch. So the point that I'm making is that even though MAGA, Trump supporters, you guys sit here and like pretend that you're winning, and you pretend like voting Republican is going to somehow change your life. It literally has been proven that the people that you continue to put in power don't pass legislation. And since, oh, look, Broken Black Pocket said, Santana just read them, boy, got a 3rd grade reading level. Yeah. No, hold, really, you don't have to. Oh, hold on. Let me go ahead. Hey, Broken Black Pockets, guess what? I'm going to put you in timeout because no one gives a fuck what you have to say from the actual comment section. Get up here and tell me about it. Click the link, coward. If you think that I don't know anything, sure. If you think that I don't know anything, if you think that I'm just up here talking, come spin this wheel. Find out. There's the link. There's the link. If you think that I don't know anything, come and spin this wheel. I bet you won't. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background?
I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button.
Okay, no worries. I'll drop you down. Yes, it is. Sorry, only for Americans. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some bait. Thank you for the pot of gold. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. If you're over on YouTube, go ahead and send that thumbs up. Make sure you are giving the thumbs up to the VOD. It'll push it out and ensure that we get more people in here. If you're over on YouTube and you want to debate me, all you have to do is click the link. All you have to do is click the link and you will get up here. W's in the chat for Ginger Knight, who sent a $2 YouTube super chat. Just sent the super chat, no message, just a love. W's in the chat for you. W's in the chat for Angel for the $5 super chat to say, with what's going on right now, I believe the U.S. will offer undocumented people citizenship if they sign up for the military. I can see that happening. I wouldn't be shocked if they did that. I literally would not be shocked if they did that. That doesn't seem far-fetched to me at all. W's in the chat for who is that? Who sent that over on Twitch? Someone sent a why are you why are you always lying? I don't. Oh, Rock 8185 over on Twitch sent the why you always lying emote. And then W's in the chat for the impossible girl _ Vin for becoming a follower, and Momo Prime who followed. You said there's no white privilege. Okay, Kelly, come up here and tell me about it. I can't send you an invite because you had your invites turned off, but I can mute you. Kelly Roy 105, come up here and tell me how there's no white privilege. Kelly Roy 105, request up and tell me how there's no white privilege. I would love to hear that. I would love to hear how there's no white privilege. W's in the chat for Amy, who sent a $1 donation. Amy, stop it. You're fucking awesome. Amy said, you got the only red hat that I like. I love your content. I tune in daily. Amy, W's in the chat for you. Thank you so much for the love, the support, and I'm glad that you like the hat. Listen, guys, this is a new hat. I lost my red polo hat. Well, I didn't lose it. I left it at a restaurant, and then I left it at a restaurant, and my sister heard me on stream. One of my sisters heard me on the stream talking about it, and she surprised me and mailed me a new hat. So that's awesome. So this is new hat. W's in the chat for Amanda for the $2 donation and love your face. I love you, Amanda. Thank you so much for the $2 donation. And guys, holy fucking W's. I want to see 1,000,000 W's in the chat for Karen. 1,000,000 W's in the chat for Karen. 1,000,000 W's in the chat for Karen, who sent a $100 donation. Karen said, keep educating the masses. Holy fucking shit. W's in the chat for Karen, guys. Holy shit. Thank you so much, Karen. That is crazy. That is crazy. That is way too kind. Way too kind. Much more than I deserve. Fucking W's in the chat for Karen. Jeez Louise. W's in the chat for Karen, guy. Keep the W's going. Holy smokes. Thank you, guys. If anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out. Again, if you're over on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, you can just click the link and you can come up and debate. You don't have to actually come over to TikTok. If you're on TikTok, click that button. It's funny, the random people that come into the TikTok chat who talk about like, oh, there's no such thing as white privilege. You don't know what you're talking about. You guys never request up. You guys never get in the box. Don't be cowards. W's in the chat for Feisty. Feisty sent a $10 donation, saying hugs and sanity. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Feisty. W's in the chat for Feisty. Okay. So guys, as I was saying, like TSA, they're not getting paid. That's a huge deal. We already know what's going to happen. There's going to be more impacts to travel. White privilege is what, Lady Luck? I'm confused. White privilege is what? There's going to be more impacts to travel, and so there's going to be more delays. And we understand why specifically TSA targeted, it was specifically why DHS targeted TSA. It's because they want to put pressure on the constituents to start complaining to their members of Congress and try to force the Democrats into passing funding for DHS so they can continue to do like the mass ICE raids. But like, that's ineffective. That's ineffective. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly, tap the screen, share the live. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background?
Hi, not really, but since the queue is empty, could I share a talking point?
No, thank you. Kelly, you said no white privilege? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you. Listen, you're on a burner account. Come up here. Kelly70, you got 1 follower and you're following 1 person. I sent you a request. Get up here and tell me about it. I don't care about you hiding in the comments. Guys, also, yes, even though the queue is empty, please respect the boundaries of the live. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly, right, you can drop something in the chat. I read the chat all the time. So if there's something in the chat, you can actually leave it, drop it in the chat. If it's important, you can try to get it to one of the mods and they'll get it to me if it's important. And if you want something, if you really want to get a message across, or if you really want to actually make sure that I get a question, you get a question answered, then you can send something to the pay links, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links and link to in the bio. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will answer that question or read whatever out. But please, for the sake of the live, please do not request up if you're not a Trump supporter or if you don't disagree. I know that I may be up here talking like in the moment myself, but having friendlies come up when we're not looking to speak to friendlies slows everything down, and it keeps people who may actually want to debate something on the background, it keeps them from coming up. So please just respect the boundaries of the live. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you. But please, only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. All right. Perfect. All right. So the point that I was making is they're specifically trying to target TSA because they want to put more pressure on constituents to complain to members of Congress so they can force their hand in order to get them to come to the negotiating table and fold. But that's not going to happen. So with that being said, we understand what they're about. We understand what's actually happening. And we just need to be mindful of what the Republican Party is looking to do. All right. Now, a couple other things that I want to make sure you guys know that's super important. Right. I don't know if you guys saw this, but the economy, which Donald Trump said Donald Trump has said the economy is hotter than it's ever been, right? You guys heard him say that. You heard him say it's hotter than it's ever been. He said that this is the golden age. That's what Trump said. That's what Trump said about the economy. Reports came out today that the U.S. economy expanded at a sluggish 0.7% in the fourth quarter, government says, downgrading their first estimate. Yes, they had to actually change the estimate of the growth of the economy because it didn't meet the projections. Now, you know what's funny about that? You know what they're blaming? For the slowing of the economy, the slowing in the growth of the economy? The 43-day shutdown. They're literally saying it's the 43-day shutdown that caused the issue. Hey, who is in power under those historic 43 days of shutdown? Who had the ability to actually negotiate and get the government reopened during those 43 days? the Republicans. It was the Republicans. So, with that being said, any way that they try to spin it, it's the Republicans' fault. The reason why the economy didn't grow as expected is because of Republican leadership and because of Republican incompetence. Mike Johnson didn't even have the House in DC. They could have actually still been in DC. They could have still been working, but they didn't do that. Mike Johnson, of course, didn't want the House in session because he didn't want to swear in the Congress member from Arizona that was going to sign off on the Epstein files, which ended up being inevitable, right? It ended up happening anyway. So what was truly the point of the 43-day shutdown? Because we know the reason why the House wasn't there and why Trump was good with it is because he didn't want the Epstein files released. It was about the Epstein files. It was about the Epstein files, and they didn't want the Epstein files released, but the Epstein files somewhat got released anyway. So, yeah. W's in the chat for Angie. Angie sent a $5 donation saying, good morning, sending my daily love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Angie. W's in the chat for Angie. Thank you for the $5 donation. You are awesome. W's in the chat for Angie, guys. If anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat, and I will read that out. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you are over on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, there is a link at the top of my pinned message. It says support me, but you can also debate me in that second link. So if you click that second link where it says debate me, then you can come up and debate. You don't have to leave YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. You can actually just click the link and you can come up here and debate. So if you're over on YouTube, go ahead and click that link. So yeah, the actual growth of the economy slowed at a projection that we didn't have. The U.S. economy hobbled at the last fall with the 43-day government shutdown, advanced at an unexpectedly sluggish 0.7 annual rate from October through December. The Commerce Department reported on Friday with a big downgrade from the initial estimate. Growth in the domestic production. The national output of goods and services was down sharply from 4.4% in last year's third quarter to 3.8% in the second. And in the fourth quarter, the numbers was half the government's first estimate of 1.4%. Let that sink in for a second, guys. Let that sink in for a second. They projected a 1.4% growth in the GDP in the fourth quarter, and things were so bad that they couldn't even hit 1.4. Things were so bad that they not only could not hit 1.4, but they had to cut it in half. In half. That's wild. That's wild. Federal government spending and investment clobbered by the shutdown plunged at 16.7% rate, hacking 1.6% points off the fourth quarter growth. For all of 2025, the GDP grew 2.1%, solid but down from the initial estimate of 2.2% from the 2.8% in 2024 and the 2.9% in 2023. Hey, MAGA, Republicans, Trump supporters, conservatives. In 2023, our GDP, the growth of our GDP was 2.9%. In 2024, the growth of our GDP was 2.8%. In 2025, the growth of our GDP was 2.1%. Your daddy's not doing so good. Your daddy's not doing so good. But what about Biden? Your daddy's not doing so good. He's starting war. He's hiding from the Epstein files. And he's fucking the economy. Yesterday, trillions of dollars were wiped out of the stock market because Donald Trump and what he's doing in Iran. This shit's not good. And I get why you guys are scared to come up and defend it. You're scared to come up and defend it because you know that this is indefensible. You're cooked. You're cooked. You're cooked. Not only are you cooked, but like literally Republicans. You know what's funny? I talked about this prior to Liberation Day. And I talked about this like when Donald Trump was elected. Tariffs. Our country has a history of tariffs. Our country has a history of tariffs. And you said the camera's out of focus? I don't think so. It may just be from where I was moving, but the camera's focused. Yeah, it may have been something. No, the camera's focused. We have a history of tariffs, and it's not a good history. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what can I call you?
You can just call me Jason.
Call you what?
Jason.
Jason? All right, Jason.
Yep.
Well, you picked a perfect time because, I was just about to go into something else, but we haven't really gotten into it yet. So, Jason, let's do this the proper way. Really quick before we go too far, Jason, do you know who I am?
I've seen you on Dean's Live.
Okay. All right. Listen, no worries. Jason, would you mind if I give you a proper introduction to not only who I am, but what this is?
Yeah, sure.
All right, perfect. One moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Guys, welcome in. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters or anyone that disagrees with anything on the background. I am Santana, and guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me, repost it. Or if you are someone like, where's this guy go? On the pain, on the pain. You said performative nonsense on the pain. Get up here, you coward. Come and tell me about how it's a performative nonsense. Get in the box. I'm going to send you a request and you can come up here with Jason. You guys can go 2-on-1 with the great one. How about that? Instead of you actually hiding in the comments, come up here and go 2-on-1 with the great one. I know you won't do it. Anyway, Jason, so you are a Trump supporter. Which point on the background do you disagree with the most where you'd like to start?
People keep saying trad in the chat. Who the hell is that?
Yeah, I want you to lock in. I want you to lock in for me and you and I here.
Okay, I will.
Why'd you just get so emotional? What was that about? Are you okay?
Don't make me release my alpha. All right.
Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We are only looking for some debate. I have no idea who Trad is. I don't know this person. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background? Emmy,
can you give me a minute?
I'm sorry?
I do, but can you give me a minute?
Sure. I'm just going to place you on mute and you can come off mute whenever you're ready. Oh, sorry. Okay. W's in the chat for Indigo. Indigo sent a $10.10 donation to say happy Friday to you. Thank you for speaking for us. Indigo, thank you so much for the love, the kindness, your support. Like, Indigo, you're absolutely fucking amazing. W's in the chat for Indigo, guys. W's in the chat for Indigo. If you like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter, disagree with anything on the background. If you are over on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, you can just click that link and come right up. You don't even have to come to TikTok. What I was saying really quick while we wait on Emmy to come back, guys, our country has a history of using tariffs, right? And the history of using tariffs is not good. And the history of using tariffs, not only is it not good, but it has been a tactic that was used by the conservative party twice. This makes the third time with Donald Trump. Two times before, it was used by the conservatives that had power. And it's always been 100 years apart. 200 years ago, they decided to institute universal tariffs, mass tariffs like they're doing right now. And it was so much of a failure that the conservatives that held power lost 60% of their seats. It was so bad that they lost 60% of their seats. And they was like, nope, we're not going to do that anymore. 100 years later, the conservatives, the Republicans, the conservative party, not the Republicans, the conservative party decided that they were going to institute the Smoot-Hawley tariffs, and they were going to put blanket tariffs on everyone. And that number 60 is important because they were so much of a failure that they lost power. The conservative party lost power and didn't regain any type of power for 60 years. For 60 years. So when I tell you there's a history of mass blanket tariffs happening in our country and being a failure, it happens. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background?
Santana, outlaw, can we debate, please? Please.
Who are you?
I want to debate you.
Is this Chase?
No.
Chad, is this Chase?
Who the hell is that? Can we debate, please?
Just tell the truth. Is this I'm really bad with voices. Chase, is this
no,
you?
I'm ready if you are.
Okay.
It's not me, Chase.
Sure. You go wait in the box. I'm going to talk to Emmy first. That's Trad. I don't know who this Trad person is. Just wait in the box. Also, don't be weird when you get up here. All right, Emmy. What point on the background do you disagree with the most where you like to start?
I just have something I want to address like really quickly.
If it's addressing the chat, then I don't want to do that. Can we get to a debate?
You have a really bad echo, by the way.
It's not me issue. Are you connected to like
That's
a
not me.
Bluetooth or something? I don't hear an echo. Chat.
All right, I'll disconnect it.
Yeah, I mean, if there was an echo, like the chat would be, all on me about an echo.
Why were you telling Dean that Liv was racist? I'm just curious.
I don't know who the fuck Liv is. Why did we remove her? It's fine. They can come back. I don't know who Liv is. If you're still here, Emmy, come back. Is that Fish Girl? Wait, if that's Fish Girl, then absolutely do not come back. Oh, it's Fish Girl. Are you Fish Girl?
Not. But I just had something to address with you.
No.
Fun of people's
lock in. Are you Fish
dead
Girl?
pets. Do I sound like her?
I don't know. You guys all sound the same to me. You're not special. You all sound the same. No, I don't know you. Are you Fish Girl? Yes or no?
I just answered that. I said no, but I'm asking why you're making fun of people's dead pets.
Fuck them fish. Would you like to debate?
So now you're trying to act like her pet was important.
Would you like to debate?
That's
yes or no?
up. We're debating right now. That's
anti-American. We're not. We have stuff on the background, and I have points to debate. I'm not here to talk about fish. If
you
like
say
debate,
you're pro-American, but all your behaviors are anti-American. That is.
Who said that I was pro-American? When did I say that? When did I say I was pro-America?
That's what you're saying?
Tell me when I said I was pro-America.
I'm glad to know that you're anti-American.
When did I say? Listen, I need you to lock the fuck in. Right, be having a hard time.
I am locked in.
You're not.
I need you to.
You're not. Hey, right here. I need you to just lock in with me, right there. Look there.
I consider myself a patriot.
That's fine. I don't care what you consider yourself. Do you see the topics that are on the background?
Are you going to respond to anything I just said?
No. Do you see?
You, Dean, and Parker are all in a cult, and it's embarrassing.
Hey. Okay, I'm muting you because you got a shit ton of background noise. 2. This is the last time I'm saying this. I don't really give a fuck about the pearl clutching or the whatever this is that's happening right now. If you're trying to debate, I am up for some debates. I am really up for some debates. But if you came here to pearl clutch and talk about other people, that's weird. Go do the weird stuff somewhere else. So this is your last opportunity. Would you like to pick a point on the background that you disagree with where you would like to debate, or do you want to fuck off? I don't care which one happens, but it's going to be one of the two. Send you a request to come off mute.
Do you want to talk about white privilege?
Sure.
Okay, what's your position on that?
We need to end white privilege.
Can you repeat that?
We need to end white privilege.
Where do you see white privilege is most prominent?
Within white people.
No, where is this enacted in society?
Throughout all of society for white people.
Can you give me an example?
Sure.
Okay.
You know what? Instead of giving you an example, would you like to know the premise, my full premise as far as why we need to? How about this? Let's start here. Do you know what white privilege is?
Listen, I'm Black and I don't really see
I don't give a fuck about that. I literally
me.
don't give a fuck about that. I'm saying, do you know what white privilege is?
Bro, you're crazy.
Turn on your camera.
No, you're gonna dox me.
That's not
you're gonna
how
follow
doxing,
Dean.
That's not how doxing
dox
works.
me.
Slap nuts. You just said that you're Black.
No, you're gonna make me turn my camera on. Then
yes,
you're gonna.
You just said that you're Black. I want you to turn your camera on because you're blackfishing.
Bro, you're not real. What the hell?
Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Again, Emmy, you go do the weird shit somewhere else. Go do the weird shit somewhere else. I'm not doing the weird shit. If you're gonna I don't understand what's happening, but we're not gonna do the weird shit here. W's in the chat for Andrea. Andrea sent a $2 donation with some hearts. Thank you so much, Andrea. W's in the chat for Andrea. Also, W's in the chat for Troll, who sent a $5 super chat to say, why would anyone want to be pro-racism, pro-PDF, pro-genocide? Exactly. That's fucking wild. If anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Guys, keep tapping the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It'll boost the live and push us out to the FYP. Nobody, no effing body. Are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background?
Not a Trump supporter, but I disagree with some things on the background and things you said just recently.
Okay. All right. Which point do you disagree, or what thing that I say that you disagree with? I mean, where do you want to go with it? Floor is yours.
We can continue on with in-white privilege, but I am hearing that echo whenever I come up on your thing. When I come on your platform there.
You're hearing an echo? Okay. Let me check. Because,
yeah, whenever I'm a guest, I can hear the echo that she's talking about.
let me check because, again, so is it when you speak that you're saying you hear
it seems
the
to
echo?
be only as a guest because I didn't hear it in the audio.
Say it one more time.
It seems to be only as a guest because when I was in your audience, I did not hear this.
You're right. Give me a second. I know exactly what's happening. Sorry.
No problem, bub.
Mm-hmm. Can you speak again?
Test, check, 1, 2, 3.
Why the fuck are you coming out of my mic?
I do hear that echo again.
Yeah. I hear it. Give me a second here. I'm thinking it has to be something that occurred with, oh, hold on. 5. There was an update that was done with Studio before I got in here. And now it looks like you're coming through my mic, which is fucking weird. Give me one more second here. Okay, can you check now?
Check, 1, 2, check. Nah, still there.
Yeah, it's actually worse now. Check it again for me.
Check, test, 1, 2, check.
That's so weird. Check it one more time because, again, like I said, it was fine prior to the update that happened on Studio this morning. So there was no echo last night, and there's nothing that's changed.
Check, test, 1, 2.
Okay, let me try one thing here just to make sure. Just checking to see if there's an echo. Test. Hold on one second. Test. I hear it. It's a slight echo. All right. Yeah, I think it's just a TikTok bug. It's not that bad. Is it okay? Like, can we push through it?
Let me see. It comes in 1 second later, so it kind of talks over myself.
Yeah. If you want to turn your audio down maybe a little bit, that might help. But like, there's nothing that changed. It's got to be a TikTok bug because again.
Are you sure you don't have 2 inputs going on?
I'm positive. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like there's yeah, no, there's nothing. It's literally TikTok because they, like I said, they did an update and it's something happening because none of the actual settings have changed or anything from last night, and I was just streaming last night. Anyway, what point do you disagree with on the background?
There's kind of three, so we can actually go back.
Oh wait, we were talking about white privilege, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on 1 second here. Let me one other thing. Sorry. Okay. You wanted to actually, you said that, okay, what point did you disagree with me on as far as white privilege?
You said it happens amongst all white people throughout history?
Yeah.
What about the history of the whites that waged war against other whites?
White people that wage war against other white people? What about it?
Yeah, where's the white privilege in that?
Oh, I mean, white privilege has nothing to do with war against. I think you may be a little bit confused. But I guess the question I have for you is,
I mean, it's said there's supposed to be benefits, like white privilege is the unearned, unconscious, social, economic, cultural. You know, this is a Google search. I'll tell you what white privilege is, but you said it happens amongst all white people throughout history. Where's the white privilege?
Oh, you're leaning on the Googles. Got it. Okay. So yeah,
I mean, like, where's the positive on two whites fighting each other?
Well, white people. Why do you keep saying whites?
It's simple.
Yeah,
white people. That's three.
White people. Yeah. So you have you're leaning on a Google without actually understanding what white privilege is, or a Google search without understanding what white privilege is. Maybe if I explain white privilege, you'll have a better understanding, and then we can go from there. So let's start from the basics. Let's actually build this from ground up. White privilege is literally the existence of white people or whiteness to move through society without the additional barriers that are placed in front of other races. What it means is that you have the ability for society to conform around you versus you having to conform around society. It's not something that's inherently evil. It doesn't make you a bad person or anything like that. It just says that due to the structure of race and what the purpose of whiteness is, it is society conforming around you, and you don't have additional barriers that other people have. That's what white privilege is.
Okay, and what are those barriers, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, it's different barriers due to our society, right? It could be financial, it could be educational, it can be medical, it could be a lot of different things. The way that white privilege presents itself is in multiple ways. Do you know what redlining is?
Redlining concerning the buying of houses back in the 60s and 70s, I think it was.
Yeah, it's so let's say you said back in the 60s or 70s. When do you think the last time a major bank was actually successfully sued for redlining?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know.
2024, 2025.
Successfully sued for redlining, really?
Yeah, banks including Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Navy Federal Credit Union. But it's also happened in mid-size and smaller banks all throughout the U.S. as well. So when we talk about redlining, people for some reason think that it happened like so long ago, but it's actually still persistent today. And the practice of redlining is something that that people who have white privilege benefit from, not because there's someone who is doing something wrong or like has made a decision to actually engage in these racist acts or whatever. It's literally the practice where people who are white are being rewarded for being white while doing nothing that's different than their counterparts that are non-white.
Mm-hmm.
That's white privilege.
So it's society.
Oh, you cut out.
Society and basically is it cut in now? Can you hear me? Because it's cutting myself off still.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So it's society. It's built within society, and it seems to be a certain authority puts that in place. Correct. Whether it be white, based on white or race or whatever, it seems to be a central authority in these scenarios.
What do you mean
Correct.
central authority? I'm a little confused as far as
Well, so like the bank, whoever's going over the bank loan, reading this information and I'm looking what you said concerning the court cases of redlining, and yeah, there's some Old National Bank, DOJ's involved here, mortgage vert. All these are central authorities that the courthouse seems to be eliminating the white privilege that they're trying to invoke. So
yeah, but again, the point that I'm making is with redlining, these are racist practices that are still happening today, right? That's just one example, but specifically calling out that it's something that is done based off of people who are not actually doing anything, right? Because again, the point that I'm trying to make sure that I hammer is it's not happening because I think I figured out why your echo is doing that. Give me 1 second here.
no problem.
It's not happening. All right, check it out now. Try it.
Check, test 1, 2. Hey, I don't hear an echo.
Okay. And chat, everyone, can you guys still hear him? Can you do it one more time?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Check 1, 2. Can y'all hear me? Yes, okay. Amy says yes. Good.
YouTube, good. Twitch. Okay. All right. Yeah. I figured it out. It definitely came from that actual update that was done on Studio. All right. So the point that I was trying to get across is, while these banks are still engaging in these racist practices, it's affecting Black people and white people alike. And that's just one example of white privilege. There's other examples of white people benefiting from white privilege. Now, weaponization of white privilege is called white supremacy, right? And so I'm not talking about white supremacy, but I am talking about white privilege, which literally rewards people based off of nothing of their own doing. Have you ever heard of, well, I'm sorry, there was a study that was completed, and I just want to get your initial thoughts on this. There was a study that was completed where they found that during the daytime, Black people were pulled over at a much higher rate than white people, right? For traffic violations. But then at nighttime, the stops as far as Black people and white people evened out. What do you think the reason was that Black people were stopped more during the daytime versus at night when it was pretty much even?
My hunch, I mean, just going off my hunch, ignorant, fallible police officers, racist police officers who could clearly see a person of color, and then their racism kicks in of probably poor, probably easy to attack, all that kind of stuff. With their power, their central authority that they have. Yeah. So
So the actual study was called
fallible, ignorant human. Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear. The police are made up of fallible, ignorant human beings, 100%.
Okay. The actual study was called the Veil of Darkness study, which actually highlighted the fact that with reviewing 9 million traffic stops across the United States of America, there was a large discrepancy between Black people being stopped by traffic violations during the day, but versus at night, it equaled out. And it was literally because during the day, police officers could see. And so they leaned on racial biases to actually stop people, versus at nighttime where it's harder to see and their view was obstructed. They just leaned on the actual traffic infringements that occurred. So that's another example of white privilege.
So is that white privilege, or is that an example of racism within an ignorant authority?
Both, right? Because you can talk about the racism that occurs from the officers that stop, but then also, like, again, you and I, right? Both of us are driving same area. We make the same traffic infringement. I'm more likely to get stopped than you, and it's not because you did anything. right? It's just because you're white in the day, and the cops can see that you're white and I'm black, right? And so you could talk about the racism that occurs on the side of the officer, but the privilege comes in on your side where you benefit from not being black. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't even know about it, but it's a benefit that you're receiving.
Because of, you know, the sunlight's on my skin and shows my skin, and the sunlight's on your skin shows your skin, and the police officer uses their biases, wherever it comes from, and that I fully understand that example being my white privilege, specifically by the definitions of white and privilege.
And so the big point that I'm trying to get across is like, because most people think that like white privilege is something that you think that you can see, that's tangible, that you know for a fact that it's going to benefit you. People like, well, if I have white privilege, why am I poor? Well, if I have white privilege, why do I go to jail? Like, that's not what white privilege is. White privilege is in those situations where you may be poor as far as being white, but looking at the actual distribution of support that's given to like unhoused people, white people that are unhoused have a higher percentage of support and given access to resources at a higher clip than black people that are unhoused. That's the difference. While black people and white people will get convicted for the same crime, black people are more likely to receive a longer sentence or harsher punishment than white people for the exact same crime. That's white privilege. So it's not that like neither one of us wouldn't, you know, go to jail. It's just that the way that things occur, you would get a lighter sentence than me because you're white and I'm black. Like this has all been actually studied.
Yes. To end for your prompt, to end white privilege, the only way I see that occurring is all these central authorities that in those scenarios that you've pointed out, not only being better educated, but as far as the scenario, what's presented in front of them, but also their own biases and better understanding of themselves and the situation that they're in, that it's an individual in front of them rather than white person. So it seems like to end the white privilege that you clearly and beautifully displayed there concerning the traffic stop, it seems like it's at the authority level that we can end it rather than you or I. Sort of.
There's a step before that. And this is where, when I say end white privilege, this is where like we start. And we start with people like you. And it has to start with white people understanding what white privilege is, acknowledging white privilege, and then actively working to abolish it, right? The thing about privilege, and it's any type of privilege, right? I mean, like you and I, I'm assuming, or I don't want to assume, you're a man, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. So you and I, since we're men, we have privileges as men that women don't have, right? And
yes,
so since we have those privileges, it starts with us, one, recognizing those privileges, two, addressing those privileges, and then three, using those privileges to actually destroy the privilege that's given, right? So the point that I'm making is the first step is for white people to accept that white privilege is real, understand what it is, understand that a lot of people think that like I'm calling white people bad or something, and that's not the case. Like it has nothing to do with good or bad, but acknowledging that and then actively working towards that next part that you mentioned, right? Abolishing those systems that continue to perpetuate racism and hold up whiteness and instead of like merit and support for everyone. Like that's how we get there.
Yes, sir. I got you. Now to tie in the DEI, because DEI with the equity of it all, like I believe in the equality, but the equal equity of it all, I don't believe that's even possible. None of the experts that I've listened to say that throughout history say it's possible. Like as far as Thomas Sowell, Walter Williams, Milton Friedman, those are my favorite economists that I instantly go to.
Okay.
But
okay, well, let's do this. I'm gonna we can
with the white privilege, you know.
Let me say thank you to a couple of people, and then we can tackle that one next.
Go ahead.
W's in the chat for troll for the $5 super chat to say back in the day, she would be in the house while her friends would be in the field. Yes. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, troll. Yes. W's in chat for MFC for the $1.99 super chat to say, good for you, Santana. Don't let them troll you. Like, you can't troll a troll. I'm a better troll than they could ever be. W's in the chat for Mike. What up, Mike? Mike's in a $5 donation saying it's Friday the 13th, bro. It's going to be a long day. I don't know. It hasn't been as bad yet. So there's that. W's in the chat for Gregory for the $2 donation saying, young man, you're not young man, you're not to be played with today. You're cooking. I appreciate your commitment to educate and enlighten gullible Republicans. I try to have these conversations in good faith. So thank you for that. W's in the chat for Luz, who sent a $5 donation saying, thanks for educating people online. Thank you, Luz. I appreciate you. W's in the chat for Jody. Jody sent a $5 donation saying, the millionaire tax in Washington passed. It is a state constitution, not a state tax. Trump went on a rant. My favorite part was when he said that state constitution be damn. Like what? Oh yeah. Trump, to be fair, Trump doesn't care about like the actual United States Constitution. Why would he care about a state constitution? And last but not least, guys, massive W's in the chat for Della. Della said a $20 donation. Delia. Good morning. Good to see you here. Just FYI, my name is pronounced Delia. Okay, got it. Like Carlita with the Delia. No big deal, but I thought you should know. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. W's in the chat. Thank you for that $20 donation. Guys, if anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out. 1.3 thousand people hanging out. Look up at the top. If you see the word follow, that means you're not following me. Hit that follow button. We're trying to get to 100,000 followers. We only have 17 new followers on this stream. I'm positive that there's more than 17 people that have not hit that follow button yet. So hit that follow button, turn on notifications so you know when we go live. If you're over on YouTube, get the thumbs up, but make sure you're following. We're heading towards 20,000 followers there. Over on Twitch, we're at 1,025 followers. We're trying to get to 2,000. Follow me across the board everywhere. Santana speaks for you. All right. So nobody. I'm going to kind of be straightforward with you and kind of cut to the chase as far as like DEI, because you seem to be here in good faith. And so I'm going to go ahead and give you like the inside baseball, right? So DEI is a racist dog whistle. That's all that is. Do you know what DEIA is?
DEIA?
Yes.
No, I do not.
Yeah.
So I've not heard this. I've only heard this.
Yep. So the A stands for accessibility, and the A is very important, right? The reason why people like don't mention the A is because the A underscores the premise of what DEIA is. And that's making sure that people are able to move through society without facing those biases that we were just talking about, right? If you talk about the point of DEIA, it's basically, it's not a policy and it's not a hiring practice. It's teaching people to remove those inherent biases that limit them or limit others based off of the fact if they're, a woman, if they're Black, if they have a disability, those types of things. It's directly attacking those types of biases that actually stop people from being able to advance throughout society, right? And so it teaches people how to actually deal with those biases. Now, the reason why I put DEI in parentheses and I said it's a racist dog whistle is because DEI has an etymology. Have you ever heard of the term CRT, critical race theory?
Yes, critical race theory. Yes, I have CRT. Yep.
Okay. So before they were saying DEI, they were saying critical race theory, CRT. But before they were saying CRT, they were using the term BLM, Black Lives Matter. Have you heard that one?
Okay. Yes, and that whole organization was terrible. Yeah, that whole.
Before the term Black Lives Matter, BLM, they were using the term. They were. Wait one second. I need you to listen for me. Before they used the term BLM, they used the term thug, and before they used the term thug, they used the term boy. And before they use the term boy, they use the N-word. And so when I say that the term DEI is a racist dog whistle, it's just a term that people use and weaponize to target Black people. And they use that term because they can't say the N-word without repercussion, right? And so that's why they talk about DEI candidates, Kamala Harris. That's why they talk about DEI hires when they're talking about Black pilots. They literally weaponize that DEI term, and they try to throw DEIA to the side, not understanding that DEIA literally benefits everyone. It's based off of merits, and it's based off of ensuring that the best possible people have the position to lead and succeed within society.
Follow you. When did the A get added? Because accessibility, like in my job, having concerns of accessibility and making sure everything is created with the accessibility standards in place. That's been going on for years.
DEIA has been prominent since the 1960s.
Well, that's the thing is not DEIA. Even yourself, you have DEI everything in your prompt.
And that's why it's in parentheses. You see the
A.
I mean, not parentheses, but the quotation marks. You see the quotation marks?
Yeah, but when was the A added to the DEI? Is basically my question now.
It's been a part of DEIA has been a part of it since the 60s. The reason why I have it in quotations, is because of what I just explained to you. The fact that it's a racist dog whistle, it engages people who think that DEI, right, is just giving like Black people or giving people stuff based off of race.
So here it says DEIA stands for diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, adding a focus on accommodating individuals with disabilities to traditional DEI frameworks. The A was officially added to federal and subsequently many corporate initiatives through President Biden's executive order on June 25th, 2021. So, yeah, that it seems like it's being tied in together to sell it better, but like, I mean, whatever you got to do, I guess.
Listen, wait. Stop for a second. I know you just did a quick Google search and you're looking at AI overview. I'm telling you that DEIA has been something that has been in place since the 60s. But when you talk about the focus, yes, the Biden administration put a heavy focus on the quote unquote DEIA aspect. But when even his executive order, didn't make DEIA a mandate. There's no policy. There's literally no law that enforces DEIA. But the point that I'm getting across is that the actual focus on removing biases for people with disability has been a part of the entire thing since the 60s. It's something that's become more popularized now. And it's something that people don't talk about because they don't want to put the focus on the accessibility portion. But the point that I'm making is the two things that I just said. One, DEI is a racist dog whistle.
I'm just saying, I think you're incorrect what you said, though, as far as the A part. Because the ADA existed, as far as the accessibility, that has been, accessibility on its own I would agree, has been concentrated on since the 60s. And along with basically these DEI frameworks and everything since the 60s, but it seems to have been separate until recent. And now, and again, that's, to me, it's fine if they're bringing it all together. But the original thing I said was that I don't see how we can get the equal equity of it all. How do we get the equity distributed evenly amongst any of these groups, any and all of these groups? When, like I said, Milton Friedman, Thomas Sowell, Walter Williams, and people who study social constructs like this and keep the human factor part of their layouts, I guess, and part of their frameworks themselves. The human factor, I don't know. I can go on. I'll let you go on and on forever. I don't want to take up your time and all that, but I'm just saying, like,
so
it seems
let me,
the A was
let me put this. Hold on one second. Hey, let me put this into perspective for you, and you can do more research on it on your own. But there is, as far as DEIA and the focus on A, if you're talking about the connection as far as diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, there's different iterations of the actual framework of the wording and how it works and all this other stuff. But if you take a look at the 1964 Civil Rights Bill, there are protections in the 1964 Civil Rights Bill that gives protections to people based off of race, sex, religion, nationality, and also other further developments or disabilities, like all in the 1964 Civil Rights Act. So those things, that's DEIA.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
you just tied it in. You tied it in for me, bub. You just 100% tied it in, because I was trying to, the Civil Rights Act of 64, if that's the case, if, you know, includes other disability stuff, then yeah, you just tied it in with the A has always been there, but now the labeling, you know, the frameworks themselves, the titles of these frameworks, they've been changed over and over, just like you just pointed out, the 1964 Civil Rights Act, and now we have DEIA. Sorry, I've heard all these other things that you redlining and all. I fully admitted that I've heard all these other things, and DEIA was the first. This is the first time today, first ever I've heard of DEIA, and I'm actually glad that it's being cooked, especially if it's been going on since the 64 Civil Rights. That makes perfect sense too.
So the point that I'm getting to is, like, the reason why people, and again, that's why I mentioned like DEI versus DEIA. It's the weaponization. Now, let's talk about equity, right? I'm not going to actually push back on you as far as saying you don't know what that means, because you seem like you, for the most part, have tried to dig deep into
I don't
that.
see how we obtain it. I know what it means. I just don't know how we can obtain equal equity amongst everyone.
Dismantling white privilege.
I mean, whatever factors we put into place, what does that look? Basically, what does equal equity look like amongst everyone? How does that look exactly?
Well, in order to
that's why I'm getting lost. Diversity, inclusion, and acceptability. All three of those make sense, but the equity of it all, like where I am at currently, and where, let's say you, us two, we're two individuals, where we are currently, our standings in society or in our lives, or whatever. How do we make both of our equities equal after a certain effect? You know what I'm asking? Like,
the way that you get to equity is by making people that have been harmed by these practices in the past whole. And what that looks like is reparations for non-white people. It's something that I've talked about multiple times before. And this isn't just reparations for Black people, but this is reparations for non-white people that have overwhelmingly been harmed by the United States of America. We start with the
Japanese are the first.
Can I finish my sentence?
I was agreeing with you, but like I said, the Japanese is who I start with in the list of reparations. Yes,
I'm gonna mute.
I was agreeing with you.
That's fine. I'm gonna mute you because, like, I want to get through this, and then you can speak. So when you talk about reparations for non-white people, where you start, it's not Japanese people, it's the indigenous people. Indigenous people were the first sin of the United States of America when the colonizers came to Turtle Island, and they killed so many indigenous people that it cooled the temperature of the earth.
They weren't indigenous, but that's why when you say falsehoods,
nobody can I finish my sentence?
My thing is when you say
what's false,
call it out.
What's false about indigenous people?
They were not indigenous.
Okay,
they were not indigenous.
Sure. Where are you getting information that there weren't indigenous people that were already here prior to the colonizers coming to Turtle Island?
Because they colonized from the Bering Strait coming through Asia.
Where are you? Give me proof that there were no indigenous people in the Americas prior to.
You didn't hear what I just said, did you?
I heard what you said.
You didn't hear what I just answered it. I just answered it.
Listen, I need you to stay on mute. I need you to stay on mute because you can't hear me because
I'm
you
muting
keep-
myself. And, yeah, I'm letting you talk.
Stop. Listen to what I'm saying. You are trying to speak while I'm speaking and you can't hear me because you think you have the answers.
They're not indigenous people. They came from the
I
Bering
hear
Strait.
you whining and
Stay on the
crying.
topic, sir.
I hear you
Stop,
whining and
stay on the
crying. Stop
topic.
showing your white fragility. You're
bitch.
crashing the fuck out.
You're being a
You're
bitch
crashing
now.
out.
You're being a bitch.
Why are you crashing out? Listen,
You're being a
listen,
bitch.
this entire
You're being-
time, this shit is wild. How are you crashing out? Because now, wait, so are you crashing out because I'm sitting here pointing out that colonizers literally, you guys, you're crashing
And then you
out.
don't
Stop it. Stop
You're
it. Be an
dishonest.
adult. Why can't you be an adult? I can't finish the sentence because you're crashing
You're
out.
the one muting me.
You're lit. Yes, I'm muting you because you're being a fucking child. Stop.
They came
Stop being a child. Holy shit. Yes, I will let you speak, but let me finish my sentence. What are you doing?
Address that.
You got fucking weird.
You
I will.
speak my-
Okay. Hey,
Bering.
shut up. You can request back up after I finish my sentence. Be a fucking adult. You just crashed all the fucking way out. So like I was saying, prior to the colonizers coming to Turtle Island, indigenous people were here. And indigenous people were all throughout the Americas, not just North America, not just the United States of America, but indigenous people existed throughout the entire portion of the Americas. And when the colonizers came to Turtle Island, they were literally on death's door. They were dying. And indigenous people are the ones that nurse them back to health, showed them how to survive here. And in turn, the colonizers kill so many indigenous people that it cooled the temperature of the earth. So when I say reparations for non-white people, it starts with indigenous people. And then we move on to the second great sin of the country, which is black people, due to chattel slavery and the fact that they stole black people from Africa and brought them to America and put them in servitude. And then from that point where they could no longer steal black people from Africa, they started creating breeding camps here where they made black people. So this country was able to get 400 years of free labor from black people. That was the second one. And then when I say non-white people, I talk about the people that were actually negatively impacted, that actually built this country and maintained the country in multiple ways. And so I talk about the actual Japanese or the Asian people that came here. I don't include Irish or Italian people. And the reason why I don't include Irish or Italian people is because they're categorized as white now. And if you have access to white privilege, then you don't get reparations. But I do include brown people that have come from the southern countries that are overwhelmingly being negatively impacted by ICE, then said unfollowed. Then I don't give a fuck if you unfollow me. You never followed me before, you clown. I'm going to mute you. And you know what? I'm going to send you a request. Come up here, Dan. I sent you a request. If you don't come up here, I'm just going to block you because you're a troll. But like I was saying, then I talk about the brown people that have been overwhelmingly negatively impacted by ICE, who has absolutely been the backbone of our country and who has been counted on to support our country in multiple ways. Oh, Dan rejected my request, but still here. Nope, you get blocked. So that's what I mean when I say reparations for non-white people. All right. So nobody, I'm going to bring you back in. I'm going to bring you back in, but I'm going to say this right here, right now, because you already started to crash out, which is weird. And I'm going to let you know before I bring you back in, I'm not going to play the weird talking over mute crash out thing anymore. You were an adult for the first part of the conversation. Lock the fuck in and act like an adult. And if you can't act like an adult, then I'm going to throw it out here to my chat. Chat, before we get them in here, and don't do this based off of the interactions before, but interactions moving forward, $100 bounty. $100 bounty if you can't keep it together. If you want him gone, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. $100 bounty if you want him gone. Nobody, keep it together. Okay.
It's good.
Would you like to respond?
Yeah, it's good to be part of the echo chamber again. So you didn't address the Bering Strait when the indigenous people colonized America by crossing the Bering Strait in Asia and Siberia, correct? You didn't address that. And then you don't include Japanese when the American government was imprisoning Japanese Americans during a war with Japan. You don't include them with reparations, even though they were, I mean, and you also say that we stole black folk, but who stole black folk really in the Atlantic slave trade whenever black folk were capturing black folk and selling them amongst everyone, not just America? And then also you got Anthony Johnson.
Okay, hold on. You're going too far. You're going too far. So let's wait 1 second. Wait 1 second.
You jumped all over the place.
You're going so far. No. Okay, stop. Let's just.
I'm addressing what you said.
Yeah, you literally. It was all 1 point. I was telling you about the reparations.
You were all over the place, and I wasn't
all over the place. I was talking about the actual non-white people that will receive reparations. Let's start at the beginning. You said talking about the Bering Strait, right? So talking about the entire point as far as indigenous people crossing. So is it your premise? Are you saying, because yes, indigenous people were in the area that we can talk about as far as the Bering Strait, that's the connective area where you said from Siberia, from Alaska, there's still indigenous people that live in that actual area.
Russia, Siberia area to Alaska. Yes. That's
yeah. So there's still indigenous
country attaching to us.
The point that I'm trying to get across is that there were indigenous people up and down the Americas. And so just because people came from a further northern area does not mean that they weren't indigenous. I'm a little confused with your point that you're trying to get off as far as like indigenous people not being in the Americas prior to the colonizers getting here.
Because indigenous means originating, and they did not originate in America. They do what all animals do, which is migrate.
Were they here prior to the colonizers?
That has nothing to do with the fact you called them indigenous.
Were they here?
Hey, no, were they here? When I'm explaining,
were they here prior to the colonizers? I hear you crashing. What
does that have to do with them being called indigenous? That's what I called out. Was the indigenous
were they
part.
Here prior to
indigenous?
Listen,
they were here. But what's that got to do with indigenous?
Okay. So since they were here prior to,
so you're not going to answer the question.
I'm answering the question right now, but you have to stop throwing a
What's that got to do with indigenous?
You're throwing a tantrum.
The definition of indigenous.
Shh. You're throwing a tantrum. Stop it. I just want to let you know.
The word indigenous
stop. Listen.
I'm trying to figure out how it works.
Listen, I'm trying to explain it to you, but you're crashing out. Also, just FYI, you do have.
Sucks. That's why.
Listen, you already have $100 bounty on you. I'm telling you, if my chat doesn't like you, they will pay to kick you. They will pay to kick you. I just need you to lock the fuck in so we can finish the conversation.
I don't like falsehood.
You won't.
I am locked in. I don't like
emotional. Why are you so emotional? When's the last time that you actually saw your therapist? Do you have a therapist? I know. Ooh, you're a B word. Stop. You're throwing a mantrum. You're being a man-child right now. I know you're being a man-child.
Can't answer a question.
Stop crashing out. Jeez. FYI, guys, there's already $25 towards the $100 bounty.
You avoid it, dude. You don't answer the question.
There's
You
already
go on to a different shit. Fucking
There's
answer.
already $25 on the $100 bounty. Now, the point that I was making.
Indigenous?
Shh.
How is it indigenous if
Shh. You have to stop speaking
did
so
not
you can hear
originate?
me. I'm literally answering your question. Stay on mute. Holy fuck. So, the point that I'm making is the reason why they
no, how are they indigenous, dipshit? How are they indigenous? God damn it. Answer the question. How are they indigenous if they did not originate here? Go.
Why are your emotions so big?
Now, why can you not answer the simple question? Why
I'm answering the question, but every time I start speaking, you start crying.
There's no crying or nothing. It's
You're
not
literally
answering.
crying right now. You're acting like a child.
You speaking does not equal answering.
How old are you?
Speaking does not equal answering.
How old are you?
Hey, you speaking
old
does
are
not
you?
equal answering, does it? You keep repeating it. I'll
You
repeat my shit
crashing out
too.
and
You
crying.
speaking does not mean you're answering. Answer the
Okay.
fucking question.
Okay.
How does indigenous
So I'm going to train you.
equal originate?
I'm going to train you. You will have impulse control. You will have impulse control.
Have impulse
Stay
to
on mute and
You're-
stay on mute and stop
falsehoods.
crying. You're literally
learn your
crying.
falsehoods.
Okay. So
How are you going to teach me? You don't even know the truth.
you're whining and crying, and I can't get through a sentence. I've never seen a man-child crash out this bad. You're
You're being a
literally
bitch.
crashing out. I
Answer the
know.
question.
Holy fuck. Stop
Answer it.
crying. Stop. Stay on mute.
Just answer.
Stay on mute. Stay on mute. Holy shit.
The indigenous people didn't originate here. Go.
So just FYI, he now has $50 of the $100 kick fund. He now has $60 of the $100 kick fund. So the point that I was making, the reason why I said the reason why I said indigenous people is because they were in this land. They were in this land prior to the colonizers coming here. This was literally the land that was stole by the colonizers. Now, nobody.
You keep saying the same thing.
Nobody. Stop for a second.
What
Let
an
me say-
idiot. What a dishonest idiot.
Nobody.
The Bering Strait. They
We've
did not
already
originate
talked
here.
about- holy fuck. I'm
No.
going to let you speak. Stop. 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 You're crashing out. You're crashing out.
Yeah, I am.
Stop.
You're not answering. Go ahead, bub. Be an adult and answer the fucking question. How are they indigenous if they didn't originate here? You dumb fuck.
Why are you so emotional? Like, are your tidy whities too
Don't ask me
tight?
questions if you don't want.
What is happening?
Don't
Are
ask
your
me questions.
tidy whities way too tight? Stop.
Why-
Stop.
Why
Stop.
ask questions if-
Stop.
Why
Just-
questions
okay.
if you don't want to
Okay.
answer?
Okay. Listen, I'm gonna put you back in the request. You can request back up, but you need to control yourself. What is happening? I have never seen a crash out like that. You can request back up. The reason why I said they're indigenous is because they were in this land. They were on Turtle Island living in the Americas prior to the colonizers coming to this area. They had already established life and civilization and were living in the Americas prior to the colonizers coming here and stealing the land. That's why they're indigenous. They were here first. This was their land. They lived on this land. They tilled this land. That's why they're indigenous. I'm going to let you come back up. but I need you to keep it together. I haven't checked the update for the kick fund yet. I'm gonna check. But I need you to keep it together. Because if you don't, at this point, not only is it not productive, but you're starting to push the actual boundary for a permaban. You're literally starting to push the boundary for a permaban. So if you come back up here and you start crashing out again, we're going to shift from the $100 kick to the $200 permaban. Please keep it together so we can finish this. All right. Would you like to respond to what I said?
Yeah, you're a dishonest jerk.
Okay.
That's about it. That's my initial response, because you didn't address the definition of indigenous is that they originated here. They didn't originate here. They migrated. Just because they set up their own colony here doesn't mean that they're indigenous of the land.
Okay.
They did not originate or occurring naturally in that place. They migrated like all animals did, which I said. And you want to talk about my emotions, all you keep doing is muting and changing the subject instead of addressing what I ask and what I say. And that's ignorant. This just shows your ignorance. So
okay,
they're not indigenous because they migrated using the Bering Strait that connects Russia and North America. They migrated down into during the times they migrated down here to the United States of America, where we're at now.
When?
And at that time, when did they migrate? It was over thousands of years. But what I'm talking about now is you're talking about the colonizers came over, and at this certain point in time in history, they met one another on land.
Okay. So question, how long after the quote unquote migration had they been in this part of the country prior to the colonizers coming?
So understanding that the migration occurred 15 to 30,000 years ago and over some time.
Okay. So,
and different peoples coming through and migrating down.
Okay.
During
perfect.
that time. So 15, 30,000. And then the colonizers showed up. Like you said.
Wait, hold on. Don't go that far yet. Stay where you are right there. Stay where you are right there.
Okay.
So
15 to 30,000 years
so
ago. Yep.
you recognize that the actual migration that you're trying to speak of occurred thousands of years prior to the colonizers coming to the place, right?
That's ignorant. No, that's not what I said. It did not occur. It did not all occur thousands of years before they showed up. It was a continual occurrence, the event of migration, people coming through the as long as the
I agree. I'm not saying it all happened at once. I'm saying that prior. Okay. I'm saying thousands of years. No, I'm saying thousands of years. Thousands of years.
Over thousands of years, Homo sapiens migrated from this country to another country. Yeah,
so
to the land.
Thousands of years prior to colonization. People had already started and were already migrating and living in the area, right?
So they migrated and colonized the area. Yes, yes.
No. I'm not talking about the colonizers.
No, I'm talking about the people who came across the Homo sapiens that came across the Bering Strait. They migrated to this land and colonized it themselves. Yes. Continue on.
How about we make this super simple? Super simple. Super simple. Super simple. Had there been people living in the area for thousands of years prior to the Europeans coming and colonizing the Americas?
What's that have to do with them being indigenous?
Simple yes or no question. Were there people?
No, it's not.
My question is super simple for you.
Clarification.
Clarification. We can clarify after you answer the question. Super simple. Were there people living in the area for thousands of years prior to the Europeans coming here and colonizing the land? Yes or no?
Yes, in their own colonization.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. So we've established that. We've established that there were people living in this land
I didn't
thousands
deny
of
that
years.
before.
That's fine. Thousands of years.
You're just not addressing what I said. That's it. Like you keep going to slow it down.
I'm trying to get through a point. You're starting that crash out thing again. Please stop. You're like right here. Focus.
No, go ahead. Get to your point. I'm muted. Go ahead.
So, understanding that when we talk about people being in the land, and not only people being in the land, but generations of generations of generations being there, living there, being born there, dying there for generations and generations and generations and generations, thousands of years prior to people coming from a different continent and then stealing the land. Those people are indigenous because generations of generations of generations had been on the land and did not know the land that their ancestors lived in thousands of years prior to that. That's why they're indigenous.
So their ancestors migrated and colonized for years and years and years.
That's not colonization.
But then they become indigenous because they stayed there.
Indigenous people didn't colonize because they didn't steal the land.
I didn't interrupt you, sir. Why are you interrupting me? What the fuck is that about?
You're literally lying. That's not colonization.
My falsehood? What you consider my falsehood?
That's not colonization.
Okay, cool. What is colonization? What is a colony? What is a colony? A colony is a territory under the full or partial political control of another. Are you saying these indigenous people didn't have their own?
You've officially moved into permaban territory. Just an FYI. What? You officially moved
into what category?
Permaban.
I was speaking and you started talking over me. So go ahead and say that again.
You've moved into permaban territory. And with you being into permaban territory,
do I give a fuck about your permaban? You've proved yourself to be dishonest. Fuck.
No, that's you, and you're literally crashing out and whining and crying.
You've already proved yourself to be a dishonest fuck, dude.
I know.
So many times.
Shh. Just stop for a second. Seriously, I'm not even speaking to you anymore. Just stop.
You haven't even started speaking to me. Like you've not even been on my level this whole conversation. It's so funny because
so the ignorance that has been displayed here has been absolutely astounding. And so
about
what I'm going to do,
absolutely 100%.
Listen,
I would
listen. Stop.
Oh no, I'm done listening. Talk over me. Go ahead.
Oh my God! Why are you screaming? Why are you?
Because
screaming?
I just explained.
Explained it. What does that do for you? Like you're literally raising your own blood pressure. Stop.
I'm not.
You're raising your blood pressure. Your cortisol levels have spiked. Stop.
I'm telling you, dude.
We're gonna give the floor to Ari.
You're dishonest fuck.
And we're gonna let Ari speak. Okay.
Dishonest fuck.
I know. We're gonna let Ari speak. And just an FYI, there's a $200 bounty for a permaban, and you're now at 148.
Dumb fucks.
You said they won't support it.
If they follow you, they can't afford it. They can't afford it.
You're already at $148 of a $200 permaban. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, a collective. Way to go, collective.
Ari, the floor is yours. Can't fucking afford. The floor is yours, Ari.
You're good. You're good. Fragile masculinity is in the room with us, y'all. And y'all know I love fragile men. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. Ops like this are my favorite because the crash outs are
Great
incredible.
contribution.
So just to let everyone know full context, my family is indigenous to Puerto Rico. I am Taína. And it's really disingenuous, the words that this op has been using, when he doesn't understand what indigenous people means. Indigenous peoples means the original inhabitants. Inhabitants is the key word here that Santana's been very gentle parenting you through, but I don't believe in gentle parenting grown-ass men. So we're just gonna do it hard and rough here, no pause. Original inhabitants. I know those may be big words for you. Also, you've been misusing the word colonization. So let's see if you understand what words mean. Hey, let's define colonization for me. Can you do that? Can you do? Yeah.
Who's this?
I'm
nobody interrupt.
He's gonna keep.
Oh, okay.
That's what the fuck I am.
All right.
Nobody interrupt me.
All right. Yep. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna say,
What a
you can't handle
dumbass.
questions.
Please go ahead, Ari.
Yeah.
Please go ahead, Ari. Stop
You're
crashing.
too simple.
Holy smokes, you are a man child. Stop. Please go ahead, Ari.
This is
Yeah.
boring.
So colonization is the process of establishing control over a region from its original inhabitants. Holy fuck. So it's as if, though, if you're indigenous to the land, you can't colonize it, right? Because there were no inhabitants to it, and you are the original inhabitant, and outside foreign entities have to come in for colonization to happen, right? So that's what happens. Right? You can't define language. And I know words are hard for you. Books are scary. And it's scary being educated. But you can continue to crash out. Everyone, this is an example of what vascular masculinity does. That when men are confronted with education and knowledge, that contradicts their belief systems, and that they can't beat their chest and say, I'm a strong man and you must believe everything I say. And you have evidence like the United Nations that acknowledges these truths, then they crash out. Like that.
Let's go.
Okay.
These dipshits are putting on a good show for you.
Okay. Wait. I'm going to let you speak. Can you stop? I promise you. I'm about to let you speak. Stop. Just fucking stop. I'm literally about to give the floor to you. Holy crash out. Okay.
I'll just take it. Ari, what's your sources?
Okay, wait, no. Just give me 2 seconds.
No,
I'm literally just giving you the floor.
No sources. Fuck that.
Just, I know. Stop. Okay.
I know.
So I would like to hear you address. Can I just set the stage, please? I'm gonna put you back on mute, and when I stop talking, it's your turn. No one will interrupt you. Okay. So the point that we're at, Ari just covered a couple of different things. She told you about her history, her background, and the actual premise as far as what she is looking to explain and get from you. So what I would like for you to do is, one, be able to counteract and speak to like the issue that you have to what she said. Two, list any type of sources that you have. And then three, I want you to clearly articulate what you would like us to respond to. So do those three things for me. No one's going to interrupt you. No one's going to actually stop you from being able to like answer all those things. I'm going to give you as much time as you want. Okay. So the floor is yours.
Okay. So with background music too. Nice. So Puerto
Fuck out of here, you whining fucking man child. That was fucking sane. Ari, that was insane.
At that point, when you have men like that, I just choose the road of laughing at them.
Holy crap. Ari, is there anything else that you want to add to that? Because like I'm sorry that like you had to deal with that.
Yeah, no, the indigenous erasure is discussing in the weaponization of words that he clearly doesn't understand is also disingenuous and part of indigenous erasure, right? If you look at the United Nations, the United Nations, you can type in and look it up. It's literally an article titled "Who is Indigenous" by the United Nations, and it lays out parameters of identifying indigenous peoples. And it literally says people who were the original inhabitants, right, of the area. So absolutely, Tainos and other people who are indigenous to Turtle Island are the original inhabitants, regardless of migration patterns. Because even we understand that in terms of indigenous practice, a lot of indigenous people were migrated multiple places in the area in terms of like their patterns of movement to follow animals or plant life and weather changes and weather patterns, right? So that's just disingenuous, but the original peoples, inhabitants of the area are still indigenous. And that's just indigenous erasure. Colonization, right? You can't just say everyone's a colonizer. That's not true. Colonization specifically, when there are original inhabitants, like indigenous people in the area, and foreign entities come in and perpetuate violence to take over their resources. That is the process of colonization. And he cannot give an example of indigenous people because it can't exist, because colonization happens onto indigenous people. It's not something indigenous people do. It happens onto indigenous people of that happening. Right. So just disingenuous and he just doesn't understand words that has never read a book. But literacy is power. Stay dangerous, my friends. Bye.
Bye. W's in the chat for Ari, guys. W's in the chat for Ari. W's in the chat for you. Holy fuck, that was insane, and my head hurts. Really quick, guys. 1.1 thousand people here. Tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me if you have not done so. It's only one coin to boost the live, push us out to the FYP. Also, if you look up at the top, you see the word follow. You're not following me. Hit that follow button. Hit that follow button. We're trying to get to 100,000 followers. There's a bunch of people that I have to say thank you to for the permaban. We permabanned him. I haven't done a permaban in a long time. We had to fucking permaban him because I've never seen a crash out like that in my life. I have never seen a grown man lose his shit like that in my life. And if you heard him talk to me prior to the crash out, you would have never saw it coming. That was the wildest plot twist of all times. I did not see that crash out coming. There is no way in the world that I thought he was going to do that. I don't know what just happened, but I was not expecting that. I brought up indigenous people and he lost his shit. Okay, so there's a bunch of people I want to thank, but before I do that, there's something really, really important that I want to do. Something really important that I want to do. You guys know what we do here in our community, right? And it's not just about like the debates. It's not just about late nights. It's not just about the laughs and the fun and all this other stuff. It's about community. It's absolutely about community, and community is taking care of each other when it's needed and making sure we're there for each other. And you guys know one thing that we pride ourselves on as a community is being able to step up when the community is needed, right? So guys, we have a community member that's in need. And the community member, some people know him as Mr. Sunday Show or Sunday, but Mr. Sunday Show is one of our community members that's not only within our community here, but he's a part of multiple communities across the board. And he is in need, and not just in need, he's in trouble. He actually is about to be unhoused. His bills are behind. And he actually doesn't even have money to eat now. So what we are going to do is we're going to stop and we're going to help him. So the total that he is trying to raise is $2,000. $2,000. Now, the interesting thing about that is there's over 1,000 people hanging out here. And then if you add the YouTube chat, we got what? We got like 1,500 people. If two people can donate, I'm sorry, if everybody can donate $2, just $2, we can help a community member that's in need. And you guys know what we do here. When we do this, we will be providing receipts to ensure that people know that their money that they donated goes to the place that we said that is donated to. We will make sure that there's transparency and you guys get to see. But what this is taking care of community members that are in need. It's taking care of community members that's in need. So if everybody just sends $2, over 1,000 people, if everyone sends just $2 to my pay links, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Santana Speaks for You, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Santana Speaks for You. If you guys can just send $2, we can help someone who is a vital part of not only the community that we're in right now, but the community across the board. All right. So there's already people sending donations in. I'm going to start adding it up. I will let you guys know exactly where we are, but it's going to my pay links, Santana Speaks for You, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, not through YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. We don't do the actual funds through YouTube, but you have to send it through the pay links. That way we can actually send it over immediately. And as soon as we hit that goal, then we will send that to Mr. Sunday Show, and I will be posting those receipts. The one thing that I always try to tell people to keep in mind when we talk about mutual aid is not about today. Mutual aid is about tomorrow. And when I say mutual aid is about tomorrow, what that actually means is that today we're coming together to help Mr. Sunday Show, but tomorrow it could be you. And the one thing that I love to brag on about our community is the fact that our community has always come together and taken care of each other. We've raised over $40,000 to help community members. And that's what it's about. Over $40,000 to help community members. And we have always posted receipts and we've always shown where that money is going. So last time, I'm about to start doing the math. We're trying to raise a total of $2,000 for Mr. Sunday Show, where he won't be unhoused, he can catch up on his bill, and he can actually eat. He doesn't have money for food. $2,000 is the total. If everyone just sends $2, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio, we can knock it out. I'm going to add this up really quick, and this is coming in fast. Holy smokes, this is coming in fast. All right, let me do the math. 1 second here. As a matter of fact, how about a little bit of music while I actually add this up, so I'm not just sitting here in silence. Or if I have some mutuals that want to come up, I don't know if I have any mutuals that want to come up and talk about anything to help me fill this air. Like you can come up if any of my mutuals are here that have anything important that they need to talk about, share. Anything like that, any of my creators that are mutuals that you guys have anything that you want to share and you want to come up and talk about while we actually do this, feel free to go ahead and hop in the request. Any of my mutuals that are creators that want to come up and actually talk for just a few minutes while I add this up, please get up here to help me fill the dead air. I would greatly appreciate that. Let's see here. Okay, holy smokes. Not yet, but yes, we will, but not yet. All right. Let's see here. You guys are fucking amazing. Holy shit. You guys are so fucking amazing. Holy shit. If anyone is wondering what's going on, we are trying to raise $2,000 of mutual aid for one of our community members, Mr. Sunday Show. This will help the community member with not being unhoused, with food, with bills. Again, mutual aid is always about community. It's about making sure that our community is taking care of each other and doing what we need to do to help each other. And the thing that I always call out about a mutual aid is it's not about the people that are benefiting from it today. It's literally about the fact that you never know when you're going to be the person that's in need. You never know when you're the person that is in need. And so one day, today we're raising money for Mr. Sunday Show. Tomorrow it may be you. So if you have it, right? All I was saying is if you have $2, and you can add $2, we have over 1,000 people with adding $2 that will get us exactly to where we need to be. I'm getting the total right now, and I will let you guys know exactly where we are. 1 second here. Okay. All right. You guys are so fucking amazing. All right. All right. Okay, plus 22. Guys, the grand total that we're trying to get to is $2,000. And we are currently from that $2,000. Let's see here. From that $2,000 total, from the $2,000 total, we're halfway there. Okay, guys, we're trying to get to $2,000 to help Mr. Sunday Show, and we're now at $1,005.11. So, guys, we're halfway there. We're halfway there. If you can spare it, please, please, please consider doing so. We are trying to raise money for Mr. Sunday Show, who is an actual member of not only our community, but communities like Swan, like Solid, like Jeff, someone who is across the board been a pivotal part of so many different communities. So if you can do it, we are now at 1,015.11, right? 1,015.11. So we are trying to get up to $2,000. We just got another 5. All right. Perfect. So guys, let me jot this down here. 1 second. Okay, guys, we are now only $979.89 away from closing out this mutual aid goal. This is something that's super important. You guys know how important mutual aid is. You guys know how important community is. And you guys know that in the time that we're in, where life is tough and people need people, this is the moment for us to step up and help someone who is at need. And this is not something that I'm sitting here saying that everyone has to have this massive lift and to be able to do something that's like this Herculean effort. The only thing we need you guys to do is to come together and chip in if you can. Like I said, originally it was $2. All we needed, because we had over 1,000 people. And guys, remember, it has to go through the pay links. It has to go through Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, not through the YouTube Super Chats. Calling that out again, not through the YouTube Super Chats. It has to go through Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, not through the YouTube Super Chats. And so the total goal that we're hoping to achieve to help a community member that's in need is $2,000, right? And all that takes is for each person to send $20 total. All right, I'm gonna give you guys the total. I'm gonna let you know exactly where we are. 1 second here. You guys are so fucking awesome. You guys are so fucking awesome. All right. This is where we are. We're $776.89 away. $776.89 away. There's more than that as far as people watching us combined with YouTube and YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. We have over 1,000 people. We have over 1,000 people. So the only thing that we need now, if you can do it, please, 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 if you can do it, the way that we close this out is for everyone that's watching, send just $1. That's it. If you can spare $1, just $1, we can close this out. If everyone can just spare $1, we only need $776.89 left. So if you can spare $1, we can help a community member that absolutely deserves it, because everyone deserves the right to be able to live. Everyone deserves the right to be able to eat. And everyone who's a part of our community is someone that should be able to live without the fear of being put out of their home, without the fear of being able to provide food, and without the fear that they don't know how they're going to pay their bills. So please, 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 if you can, $1. That's all we need. Literally, that's all we need from everybody is just $1. I'm going to get you guys the total here in just 1 second. We're so close, guys. We're so close. We're so close. We're so close. We are so close. We're so close. We're so close. I am getting ready to give you guys the total here in just 1 second. I'm getting ready to give you guys the total here in just 1 second. All right. Okay, 1 second. All right. Let's see. Okay, here. All right, guys, we're at a total of $1,571.76. We're at a total of $1,571.76. $1,571.71. That means that we now only need $428 left. $428.24 will allow us to close out this goal and to be able to help a community member that's in need. $428.24. That's where we are. That's where we are. So I'm going to put this call to action out one more time for people to understand what we're looking to do here. And one more time for people to understand who we are. I stand on who we are as a community. I stand by what we do as a community. I stand by the people that we interact with on a daily basis here. There's still over 1,000 people watching. There's still over 1,000 people watching, and we take care of community. We take care of each other. Mr. Sunday Show is a vital part of our community. Mr. Sunday Show is someone who has been there for others, and Mr. Sunday Show is someone that we want to be able to help through this hard time. And so we're trying to make sure that they aren't out on the streets. We're trying to make sure that they can catch up on their bills, and we're trying to make sure that they can actually have food to eat. And while today we are helping Mr. Sunday Show, tomorrow it may be you. So if you can do it today, please just invest in your future. Invest in your future, because you never know when it could be you. You never know when it can be you, and we're so close. All right, one second here. I'm going to give you guys an update on the total. Okay, guys. Okay. We're so close. We're so close. We are so close. We can close this out. We can do this. We can do this. We are trying to raise a total of $2,000. We're trying to raise a total of $2,000. And currently we're at $1,705.76. We're only $294 away from closing out the total. We're only $194 away from closing out the total. Holy shit. We're only $194 away from closing out the total. One second here. Okay, let's add these up. Okay. We're at the finish line, guys. We're literally at the finish line. We're literally at the finish line. Wow. Wow. Guys, we're good. We're fucking good. We're fucking good. We are fucking good. Holy shit. Sorry. We're at the finish line. Holy shit. Stop, guys. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Holy fuck. I have a shit ton of thank yous that I was just told that I can't be as loud, even though I'm like super excited. We're good, guys. We're good. There's more coming in. I'm adding these in right now. We're at the finish line. We're done. We're done. Community, guys, we're fucking done. I'm going to say thank you to each and every person within our community. I'm going to say thank you to each and every person in our community. I'm going to do this individually. Guys, we're good. I'm still adding these additional ones in. But fucking W's in the chat for Elizabeth when we were so close to finishing things off. Elizabeth said more. And Elizabeth sent a $500 donation towards helping. Elizabeth sent a $500 donation towards helping. We're good. I'm adding all these other ones in. They're making noise on YouTube. What are they saying on YouTube? Who's making noise on YouTube? YouTube, we didn't forget about y'all. Sorry. Okay, guys, we're good. We're good. We're good. Let me add these additional ones in, and there's a couple more that just came in, so let me add these in. Okay. We're good. We're good. There's no need to send any more. There's no need to send any more. There's no need to send any more. So the original goal to help Mr. Sunday was $2,000. That was the original goal. It was $2,000. And I said, if everybody could send $2, we could close that out. And I appreciate the fact that as a community, we not only met that goal, but we exceeded that goal. And like I said, we do transparency here. We do transparency here. We absolutely do transparency here. And so since we do transparency here, I will be posting the receipts. The goal was $2,000. And we were able to raise a grand total of $2,436.01. We were trying to raise $2,000, and we were able to raise a grand total of $2,436.01. You guys are fucking special. You guys are fucking amazing. You guys are fucking awesome. I love each and every one of you. You said you love that 1 cent. I do too. This is what we are about here. This is what we do here. This is what we do here. Just FYI, no one threw the penny in. It's just how the math ended up working out. That's why it ended up being at 1 cent. That's just how the math came up. Each and every one of you makes me proud, and to be able to get on here every single day. And you guys give me the strength that I need to deal with the stupidity, the hatred, the bigotry, the racism, the xenophobia, the sexism, the classism. Each and every one of you make this worth it. Every single time that I feel tired, I feel sick, I feel like I don't want to do this, I want to get off. The love, motivation, and support from each and one of you is the reason why I keep doing this. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for giving me the ability to share community with great people. You guys give me the ability to share community with great people, and I am grateful for you. And you guys aren't great because you vote left or you don't deal with any of the isms or racism or phobias. You guys are great because you actually care about people. That's why you're great, and that's why I'm grateful. So again, we were trying to raise a total of $2,000 for Mr. Sunday's show. And we were able to raise a total of $2,436.01. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I truly, truly, truly mean that. Thank you. Mr. Sunday Show, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'm good. Ooh, I broke down like a baby already. I'm gonna try and get through this.
No, wait. Hold on for a second. I'm gonna tell you just like I tell everybody else. We thugs around here. We're a bunch of thugs. Thugs don't cry. We're gonna be we thugs. No, seriously, the floor is yours. The floor is yours. Thank you for trusting us with the opportunity to help you.
No, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I can't even put into words how grateful I am, especially W. Elizabeth. That overage does crazy. Also that, yeah, and that helps me. Hopefully, I should be able to get my car fixed as well on top of everything, which is going to be a huge, just extra W that I am so grateful for. Like, I feel like because I should really start going live now to pay these people back. Like, I've been trying to do it again, and it's just not, I don't know, I get real anxious, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try and get going on some lives again here soon. Maybe if people follow me, just throwing that out there, you know. But yeah, no, this was so amazing. I can't believe it. Santana, you are the absolute best. Like, there's nobody like you on this app.
I'm okay. You know who, like, I really want to make sure that we thank take the time. And I don't even know if they're here right now. So, like, I don't know if they're here right now. I don't know if they will hear this, but I want to make sure that I take the time to specifically thank this person, because you guys know what we do here in our community, right? We do mutual aid. We help each other. We are here for each other. But Swan is always looking to help everyone. So I didn't even know that Mr. Sunday Show was in need. Swan reached out to Kay. Kay did her thing. Kay came to me. Kay was like, hey, did you know about this? And I was like, no. And we locked in. And then all of you showed up. So special thank you to Swan. Special thank you to Kay. Those are the people that I'm appreciative of, that we have to be thankful for, because those are the people that make sure that we're not missing anyone in our community and we're doing what we can do. So special thank you to both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Swan always just a huge help with everything. And Kay, yeah, like, because Swan told me, she's like, I just messaged Kay, and Kay got to me like immediately. So Kay is officially my wingman. She's the goose to my Maverick. So yeah, and yeah, Swan. Also, I mean, the other people you mentioned that I'm always around too, like Jeff and Solid, like the whole community. It's also amazing. And yeah, I'm gonna definitely start, pulling my weight a little bit more too. So we got to end the white privilege. I'm sick of having it myself.
Yeah. Listen, so I say this and I tell people all the time, right? Again, thank you for allowing us to be there for you in your time of need. That's important. Community is so important. And I'm so grateful that we can find community within each other. But 2, now the burden's on you. The burden's on you in the sense of, like, we always have to make sure that we're like there for everyone, and preaching the message as far as like ensuring that we help each other. And I'm not saying that, you know, you have to raise money or give money away or all this other stuff, but make sure you do something nice for someone. Give somebody a compliment or like whatever the case may be. Make sure that we're always looking to pay it forward and help each other in whatever way we can. And I'm going to follow up with you, and you know how we are. Community is community. So.
Absolutely. Thank you again so much. My dog also, she just popped into the room. She says thank you to everybody. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, I'm going to, once I get off live, I'm going to get everything settled, and then I'm going to send the money over. And just to confirm, so the actual Kay told me prior, let me check right here, your Cash App. So do you want it Cash App, or is there any other payment method that would be better, or do you want me to send it through Cash App?
Oh, honestly, whatever is easiest for you. They're all Mr. Sunday Show, so
Okay.
It doesn't even make a difference to me. Yeah.
Do you have like Cash App, PayPal, Venmo?
Yeah. Yep. I've got all 3.
Okay. All right. Perfect. I'll probably send it through Venmo because that's always the easiest. But okay.
Right on.
So I will send that over. And then once we send the actual payment over, again, to read off the total. So, so everyone knows the total is $2,436.01. $2,436.01. I will be sending that over to you. And then once we send it over, we will be posting receipts in the Discord. So if you are in the Discord and you want to see where the money went, and you want to make sure that we didn't do anything nefarious with the money, the receipts will be in the Discord. And if you are not a part of the Discord and you want to know and ensure that any money that you donated went to where we said it was going to, you can reach out to Kay and we will get you a copy of the receipt. So if you're not in the Discord and you want to verify, we will get that for you as well. Transparency is a big deal to me, and we will make sure that we are transparent and always being good steward of the things that you give us. Mr. Sunday Show, anything else that you want to say to the people?
No, just another giant thank you. You were all amazing. Like, this is, yeah. Okay, I'm going to start crying again, so I should go.
Absolutely. And listen, don't use the money to build any community gardens or anything, okay?
Well, I mean, I had a really nice one planned out, but then I was looking at a bus.
Oh, holy shit, not the bus. All right, I appreciate you.
All right. Don't forget to drink your water, everybody.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Hey, you too.
It's that Lady Bookworm has been chomping to talk to me? Really? I don't know if I'm kind of out of debate mode. I don't know. You were coming up here to debate me?
Yeah. How are you doing today?
I'm good. What did you want to debate?
Well, I kind of, there were 2 topics up there that sort of interested me. End white privilege and remove men leaders.
And you disagree with those?
Well, I definitely don't disagree with ending white privilege. I guess my question is, how do we go about doing that? Because I just believe that I almost hate saying this because I try to be positive. I never want to shine a negative light on anything. And I hate the fact that white privilege exists. But the reality of it is that I think humans are just naturally prejudiced, and not just when it comes to race, but I mean, it's with everything. I mean, you look at the beauty standards. I mean, religion, people are being discriminated against simply because they have accents. You know what I mean? It's just, I mean, what do we do? to really begin to end white privilege other than just acknowledging it, because I don't think acknowledging it is enough. I don't, as much as I hate to say this, I don't think we can truly and sincerely end racism, because people are just going to be prejudiced no matter what. I grew up in a family, and I hate saying this too, but I grew up in a family where a lot of my
Lady Bookworm.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think we can definitely debate, but and I apologize to you because I don't know how long you've been in the queue or if you were in the queue before I started. But I've kind of switched out of the debate mode because of what just happened. I do think there's a debate there. Are you going to be available like later this evening at all?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What I'll say is, if you want to come back this evening, I will. Can we make sure that someone is following Lady Bookworm, and then when I'm live, because I'm going to go live again this evening. But when I'm live, we send Lady Bookworm a invite so we can debate. I just like I've already shifted out, and like now I'm just like super proud of my community, and I don't think I have what it takes to tussle at the moment.
But I understand. It was awesome what everybody did.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you're more than welcome to come back later, and we can actually get into that debate. Okay.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you so much, Santana. I hope you have an amazing day.
All right, thank you. You as well.
And thank you for doing everything that you do. I love your lives. I've learned so much from you. I think you're an incredible person.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I just didn't have I didn't have it in me to shift gears, which I guess I need to work on that. Because like last night, it was the same thing. Once for me, in order to debate, like I have to be like, all right, it's time to go. But then once I shift out of like debate mode and I start hanging out with you guys, or I start like doing other stuff, I don't necessarily get back into that mindset. Like I enjoy you guys way too much. And when we're having fun, I'd rather have fun than actually debate people. So, but I tell you what, there's something really cool that I wanted to do that we did not get an opportunity to do because today has been kind of like a thing. And so I think I'm going to save this for tomorrow. But you guys tell me if you have a if you guys even have an interest for this. You guys tell me if you have an interest for this at all. So one major thing that has been occurring is Donald Trump is pushing the Save America Act, the SAVE Act. And I've been talking about how the SAVE Act is going to disenfranchise so many people. And people keep saying like, hey, what's the SAVE Act? What's the SAVE Act? So I actually turned into a bit of a nerd. I actually turned into a bit of a super nerd. And you guys can shame me for being a super nerd if you want. But yes, I turned into a super nerd. And what I did, one second here. What I did while turning into a super nerd is that I actually, I did this. I'm going to show you what I did. Hold on one second. Where'd it go? I did this. I did a full breakdown of HR 7296, the Save America Act. And I want to go through the actual Save America Act and explain to everyone the actual bill. So, would you guys be interested in that? Do you guys want to hear me talk about the Save America Act, break down what's in the bill? It's 24 pages. I broke it all down and I broke out like in very important sections, and then I like surmised everything. Yes? What about on Twitch and YouTube? Twitch and YouTube, do you guys have a yes? Okay. All right. So we'll do that either later this evening or tomorrow or something, because I think a lot of people don't really necessarily know what it is. And even more so, people don't understand like how harmful this could be if it passes. So we'll break that down. I think it's really important for a lot of people to hear it. So yeah, we'll do that. You said you're just down to learn. I know that's right, Casey. W's in the chat for you. So we'll do that either later today or tomorrow or something. I do want to read this off though. W's in the chat for Jared for the $1 donation. Just a PSA, since we're talking about the SAVE Act, if anyone needs to apply for a passport, they will not accept short form abstract birth certificates. If you only have an abstract, you have to obtain a new one, long form. And of course, that's if you have access to your birth certificate. Yep, that's a good call out, Jared. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's a great call out. W's in chat for Jared. All right. So we'll do that. We'll do the full breakdown of the SAVE Act since you guys are all fucking nerds. You guys are dorks. Not you guys. You guys are such dorks. You want to sit here and talk about legislation and bills and policies and stuff. You guys are dorks. L's in the chat for you. I'm cool. You guys are dorks. I don't do nerd stuff. I don't do nerd stuff. But that's what we'll do. Not y'all spamming W dorks, whatever. That's not a W. That's an L. All right, so we'll break that down either later this evening or tomorrow or something. We'll do that. And we'll go through it. All right. Here comes the tough part. I have over 100 and probably like 170 messages for donations. And this is from the permaban, and this is from the permaban, and this is from the actual mutual aid. And yes, I'm going to say thank you to every single person. What time will I be on tonight? Time is a social construct. Time is a social construct. Yeah. Anyway, just watching notifications. I mean, I don't know. It'll be sometime. I don't know. It'll be at some point. Like, yeah, there. Yeah. Oh, guys, follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Santana Speaks For You. I created a board on Instagram, and I'm going to start making sure that I like update the board on Instagram. So we have notifications that go out in the Discord when I get ready to go live, but I'm going to start updating the board on Instagram. And then that way you guys can actually like know there as well. So on Instagram, Santana Speaks For You, across all platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, everywhere. Santana Speaks For You. I'll be updating that. And then that way you guys can keep up, but follow the board the channel that I just created on Instagram. And I'm going to start posting the notifications in the channel so you guys can know. All right. So at this point, I'm going to read out every single thank you because it's important for every single person that actually helped. I want to make sure that I say thank you to every single person. Now, with saying thank you to every single person, this is going to take a while. So just letting you know now. So either you guys can lock in with me and spam W's in the chat. You guys can head out. I don't know. But what I'm going to do in the meantime, in between time, well, yeah. All right, we're going to start. This happened prior to the permaban. And so I want to make sure I say thank you for this one. Debbie's in the chat for Damon for the $5 donation. Saying indigenous people are the first people of the Americas. They're the original case, the original case closed. Come at me in the streets. God damn, Damon. All right, I'm gonna read off the permabans. I'm sorry, I'm gonna read off the actual messages for the permabans because this happened before and it's not as many. But then for the mutual aid, I'm just gonna say thank you. All right, is that fair, chat? I'm gonna read off the messages for the permabans, but for the mutual aid, I'm just gonna say thank you. We're gonna say the name, say the total, say thank you for the mutual aid because you guys fucking blew it out of the water, and it's a lot of those. That's fair? Okay, cool. All right, this is still for the permaban. That was in the chat for Trisha for the $25 donation. Sorry, people use your platform to disrespect you, Santana. White men only care about their own internal echo chamber, and his ill-informed opinions are almost as mediocre as he is. God damn, I know that's right. I know that's right. W's in the chat, Trisha. W's in the chat for Amanda for the $10 donation, saying, according to this guy, we're all indigenous Africans because that's where original humans evolved from. Also, kick. W's in chat for Manders for the $5 donation, saying, the only B word in this debate is this bigot piece of S talking to you, Santana. Effing kick. He kept spamming the B word like that was something that was going to, like, you know, like get to me or something. I don't know why he kept doing that, but he kept spamming the B word. Let's see here. W's in the chat for Jazz for the $5, and you know, this caller has been posted in all the red flag groups in this local area. Sheesh, 5 for the permaban. W's in the chat for Joshua Johnson Tittles, who sent $5, saying he's exactly why white men who seem chill shouldn't be trusted, and ironically, he provided it with his disgusting colonizers and the indigenous people. Exactly. He wasn't crashing out before that. W's in chat for Jessica for the $10 for the permaban. Said, I cannot handle the yelling today, just so ignorant. And he was screaming at the top of his lungs. At the top of his lungs. It's wild. W's in chat for Aaron for the $5 donation, saying, guest said that we can't afford to pay for a permaban. Bet. Thank you. Thank you, the great lives. Yep. W's in the chat for Adriana, who sent a $50 donation towards the permaban, saying, ban this nobody, idiot. W's in the chat for Christina for the $52, says, since we can't afford the rest, permaban his ass. I know that's right. W's in the chat for Roxana, who sent a $20 donation toward the permaban, said, archaeologist here. The land bridge is not even the leading theory. People have been in the Americas for thousands of years. The indigenous Fuana and Flora, I know I'm messing it up, have also changed over this time. Guess, stop weaponizing archaeology. You don't know what you're talking about. Kick. W's in the chat for Phil for the $2 donation, saying, the etymology of the word indigenous was from a time that of colonization. It was first used around the 1600s and was described as people at the time that were being colonized. So it includes native people to the U.S. I know that's right, Phil. What up, Phil? Let's see here. W's in the chat for Jocelyn for the $1 donation, saying the guests did not hear your answer. They were in the Americas before the colonizers. Also for the kick. W's in the chat for Kaylee for the $5 bounty. Men like this scare me, to be honest. Men like this should scare everyone. Like, he was crashing the fuck out, and it was so weird. W's in the chat for Jared for the $5 donation, saying for the kick fund. Does he think people have to magically appear on land before they're indigenous? My God, what an unfrosted mini wheat. Right? That was the wildest shit. W's in the chat for Brittany for the $5 donation, saying he doesn't know the difference between settling and colonization. Exactly. I kept fucking saying that. W's in chat for Jess for the $20 donation, saying this dude was so chill for the first 20 minutes. I've never seen anyone emotionally turn on a dime like that. Bananas. This is part of the kick fund. If it wasn't obvious, LOL. That's the wild part, chat. We were actually having a good conversation before I mentioned indigenous people. We were actually having, he was all locked in as far as white privilege, and he was good with that. But I said indigenous people, and he lost his fucking mind. It was crazy. W's in the chat for Michael for the $20 donation, saying for the kicks and crybaby fund. I know that's right. Okay, all right. That's all for the permaban. All right. So now we're gonna go through all of the donations for all of the thank yous for the mutual aid, right? And I'm gonna say the name, the amount, and thank yous. I will stop for just a couple of people because some people were like crazy generous. And I want to make sure that I do acknowledge those people that were like absolutely over the top generous, and not saying that everyone didn't add and everyone did, but I do want to make sure that I give, you know, a special shout out to like people that like Elizabeth. Holy fuck, Elizabeth threw in $500, which is fucking crazy. Elizabeth threw in, I still need to see 1 million W's in the chat for Elizabeth. But we came up with a total of $2,436.01 after trying to raise $2,000. So I'm gonna run through these. Oh, also this one came in prior to starting the mutual aid. W's in the chat for Mike. Mike sent a $2 donation. Friday the 13th, buddy. I told you it was gonna be a long day. Fucking Mike, why did Mike you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby? That was on you. That was on you. You put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. L's in the chat for Mike. Mike did that. Oh, wait. Before we do that, because there were some super chats that I needed to read off as well. So let's run through the super chats really quick. W's in the chat for 6 foot, 8 foot. Tony, what up, 6 foot, 8 foot? Tony, $10 super chat to say, the outrage stems from white privilege. He refuses to acknowledge that they're not the story. Exactly. W's in the chat for Spencer for the $5 Canadian say, with his logic, we're all indigenous to Africa, right? But of course, that's ridiculous. What matters is where our culture and connection of the land formed. Exactly. W's in the chat for Be Happy, who sent a $4.99 super chat to say, indigenous, relating to or descending from the earliest known inhabitants of a place, and especially of a place that was colonized. W's in the chat for 6 foot 8 Tony for the $2 super chat to say, the white narrative is real. W's in the chat for Lady Balls for the $2 super chat to say, that all started because of equity. W's in the chat for Havana for the $4.99 super chat to say, here's $5 to start. Mutual aid is based. W's in the chat for Spencer for the $2 super chat, $2 Canadian super chat to say, for the community member. W's in the chat for Julie for the $5 super chat to say, here's 5 for the calls. W's in the chat for all the super chatters. W's in the chat for all the super chatters. And guys, just for anyone wondering why, like I say, we can't do the donations through super chat for the actual we can't do super chat for mutual aid. This is why. Because when we do mutual aid, and the mutual aid, they come through my pay links, and then I send it to the person or whatever we're doing the mutual aid for. The way that super chats work is that YouTube sends, when you send a super chat, YouTube pays like a monthly sum, right? So it doesn't immediately come to you. It stays over on YouTube and they collect all the super chats for a month. And then YouTube takes about I want to say it's like between a 40 to 50% cut of everything. So YouTube takes about a 40 to 50% cut of all super chats. That's why, like I always say, if you want to support live, you can do so through the pay links, but you can always send a super chat. So I had to learn that out the hard way. And a couple of times I did mutual aids, and this was before like I was getting anything from YouTube. And so I did the mutual aids and we took the money from YouTube. And so someone sent $100 on YouTube and I was like, boom, $100. And so since it didn't come out immediately, I paid that $100 immediately and, you know, put that up and send it to the person. And then when I got reimbursed from YouTube, of course, I was getting, you know, 60 cents on the dollar. So that's why I say, guys, we don't do mutual aid through YouTube. We do it through the pay link so we can transition it over. Even through the pay links, they take like a small cut, but it's not big enough where it's like a whole big thing for me. Like the pay links take like a little bit off. And W's in the chat for Swan. What up, Swan? And so I'm willing to eat the actual difference with paying it through the pay links. But when we do it through like YouTube, holy smokes. Whew. So that's why. All right. Again, I'm going to say thank you to like some of these. I'm going to say thank you and we'll call out a few of them, but we're going to try to get through this as quickly as possible because it's about 150 people that I'm about to say thank you to. Gotta wet my whistle. Gotta wet my whistle. Sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry for slipping in your ear. W's in the chat for Phil for the $100 towards the mutual aid. Phil said for the cause. Fucking W's in the chat for Phil. Phil started off with a bang. That was the first donation towards the actual mutual aid. W's in the chat for Tess for the $30 towards the mutual aid and said for Mr. Sunday, all of our love. I know that's right. W's in the chat for Roberta. Oh, I'm sorry. Roberta, who sent a $50 donation saying for Mr. Sunday. W's in the chat for Roberta. W's in the chat for Matt for the 10. W's in the chat for Virgo for the 2. W's in the chat for Christine for the 5. W's in the chat for Angie for the 5. W's in the chat for Carrie for the 10. W's in the chat for Trisha for the 10. W's in the chat for Janice for the 2. W's in the chat for Jared for the 10. W's in the chat for Melissa for the 5. W's in the chat for Andrea for the 2. W's in the chat for Jennifer for the 5. W's in the chat for I think it's pronounced Elise for the 2. W's in the chat for Ira for the 2. W's in the chat for Amber for the 5. W's in the chat for Patricia for the 5. W's in the chat for Sydney for the 5. Hold on a second. Oh yeah. W's in the chat for Aaliyah for the 5. W's in the chat for Tina for the 2. W's in the chat for Chris for the 20. W's in the chat for Daryl for the 2. W's in the chat for Christine for the 5. W's in the chat for Johnson Tittle for the 2. W's in the chat for Nicole for the holy shit. W's in the chat for Nicole for the $40 donation. I'm gonna read this out. Nicole said 20 for Mr. Sunday Show, 20 for you. Thank you for having hard conversation with white privileged ignorant people. Nicole, thank you for that $40 donation, but I'm counting that entire $40 donation towards the mutual aid. There was no money that was being sent towards that time that's coming to me. I can't accept that. So that full $40 is going towards that mutual aid. That's not for me. Thank you so much, Nicole. I appreciate you to the moon and back, but all of that is going to the mutual aid. W's in the chat for Nicole. W's in the chat for Angela for the 2. W's in the chat for Jasmine for the 5. W's in the chat for Lisa for the 10. W's in the chat for Amanda for the 5. W's in the chat for Aaron for the 4. W's in the chat for Jessica for the 5. W's in the chat for Danny, or Diane, sorry, Diane for the 2. W's in the chat for Denise for the 5. W's in the chat for Riola for the 5. W's in the chat for Julie for the 2. W's in the chat for Chesney for the 10. W's in the chat for Amanda for the 10. W's in the chat for Molly for the 10. W's in the chat for Chesney for the 2. W's in the chat for Daniel for the 5. W's in the chat for Joshua for the 25. W's in the chat for Tia for the 5. W's in the chat for Irene. Irene sent a $40 donation saying for Mr. Sunday Show. W's in the chat for Irene. Thank you. W's in the chat for Raven for the $11.11. W's in the chat for Brittany for the 10. W's in the chat for Matthew for the 10. W's in the chat for Kathy for the 2. W's in the chat for Shannon for the 5. W's in the chat for Bethany for the 10. W's in the chat for Sarah for the 10. W's in the chat for Noelle for the 2. W's in the chat for Kaylee for the 5. W's in the chat for Dylan for the 10. W's in the chat for Barbara for the 2. W's in the chat for Amber for the 5. W's in the chat for I'm gonna mess this up. Fancy Beth. I'm just gonna call you Fancy. I'm so sorry, Fancy. I gotta call you Fancy. W's in the chat for Fancy for the 5. W's in the chat for Chrissy for the 5. W's in the chat for Candace for the 10. W's in the chat for Lynette for the 2. W's in the chat for Jennifer for the 10. W's in the chat for Nikki for the 2. W's in the chat for Danielle for the 5. W's in the chat for Rebecca for the 2. W's in the chat for Yolanda for the 20. W's in the chat for Carrie for the 5. W's in the chat for hold on a second. What is this? Oh, sorry. Someone sent me a calendar invite in the middle of it. And so I had to stop and make sure I mark that so I don't lose that. W's in the chat for Daniel for the 2. W's in the chat for Kelly. Holy fuck, Kelly. Kel Bell, one of the best mods on YouTube. W's in the chat for Kel Bell, who sent a $50 donation saying for Mr. Sunday Show from Kel Bell and sent heart hands. W's in the chat for Kel Bell. W's in the chat for Alicia for the 20. W's in the chat for Terry for the 20. W's in the chat for Cassie for the 2. W's in the chat for Sarah for the 2. W's in the chat for Jenny for the 20. W's in the chat for D-Ray for the 20. W's in the chat for Joanna for the 10. W's in the chat for holy fuck Patricia. W's in the chat for Patricia for the $100 donation, said for the person in need. Thank you, Santana, for being true. Patricia, thank you so much for being a part of our community and helping when needed. You are fucking amazing. W's in the chat for Patricia, guys. A million W's in the chat for Patricia. W's in the chat for Hannah. W's in for the 2. W's in the chat for I think it's pronounced Shawana for the 5. W's in the chat for Alicia for the 25. W's in the chat for Carla for the 20. W's in the chat for Brandy for the 5. W's in the chat for Edgar for the 2. W's in the chat for Wendy for the 5. W's in the chat for Anna for the 2. W's in the chat for D-Ray for the 15. W's in the chat for Carrie for the 5. W's in the chat for Taylor for the 20. Or that's Sin. What up, Sin? Holy fuck. W's in the chat for Jesse for the $50 donation, saying for Mr. Sunday Show, he deserves more than 2,000. You are fucking awesome, Jesse. W's in the chat for Jesse. W's in the chat for Jenny for the 10. W's in the chat for Kaylee for the 2. W's in the chat for Vanessa for the 20. W's in the chat for Adria for the 5. W's in the chat for Tess for the 20. W's in the chat for Christina for the 20. W's in the chat for Celine for the 20. W's in the chat for Alex for the 2. W's in the chat for Ashley for the 1. W's in the chat for Aaron for the 10. W's in the chat for Jeff for the 5. W's in the chat for Jace for the 1. W's in the chat for Laura for the 10. W's in the chat for I think it's pronounced RC, who sent 10. Thank you so much. W's in the chat for Kathy for the $1.50. W's in the chat for Virgo for the 1. W's in the chat for Jeff for the 10. W's in the chat for Julie for the 5. W's in the chat for Sarah for the 5. W's in the chat for Christine for the 1. W's in the chat for Peach Brand for the 5. W's in the chat for Ashley for the 5. W's in the chat for Mike for the 10. Mike, what this must have been like late. Mike said, kick this trash ass and make him turn his camera on. And that must have been super delayed. All right. Okay, hold on. These are some of the Cash Apps. Cash App. All right. 1 second here. Okay. W's in the chat for Sandra for the 5. W's in the chat for Charmaine. Charmaine sent a $40 donation, said, oh no, this was for the kick. Oh, dang it. Sorry, guys. I missed the permaban earlier for Cash App. Let me run through these really quick. Sorry. Charmaine for the $40. Get them out of here. Thank you so much for the 40. W's in the chat for Isabel for the $10 saying, kick this dipshit. W's in the chat for Lois for the 5, say permaban, love you, Santana. W's in the chat for Jeremy. Sorry so much. For the $50 donation saying, delete the fragile white man, save the drywall. Thanks. W's in the chat for Indigo for the $3 saying, your patience is golden. The guess is embarrassing. W's in the chat for, okay, now this is where these Cash Apps start for the mutual aid. W's in the chat for Jolene for the 10. W's in the chat for Isabella for the 2. W's in the chat for Katie for the 5. W's in the chat for Katrina for the 5. W's in the chat for Yaya for the 5. W's in the chat for Vicky for the 2. W's in the chat for Robert for the 5. W's in the chat for Kesha for the 2. W's in the chat for Angela for the 5. W's in the chat for Maribel for the 2. W's in the chat for Jill for the 2. W's in the chat for Destiny for the 5. W's in the chat for Big Baby for the 2. W's in the chat for Jessica for the 2. W's in the chat for Brittany for the 5. W's in the chat for Danny for the 10. W's in the chat for Katesha for the 5. W's in the chat for Katie for the 20. W's in the chat for Cheryl for the 2. W's in the chat for Maureen for the 10. W's in the chat for Sonia for the 5. W's in the chat for Vanessa for the 2. W's in the chat for Heather for the 20. W's in the chat for Jennifer for the 2. W's in the chat for Indigo for the 20. W's in the chat for Kyle for the 2. W's in the chat for for Jenny for the 2 W's in the chat, for Rosie for the 2 W's in the chat, for Daphne for the 2 W's in the chat, for Dwayne for the 2. What up, Dwayne? W's in the chat for Tracy for the 2 W's in the chat, for Devin for the 5 W's in the chat, for 6'8" Tony for the 10 W's in the chat, for Brooklyn for the 6 W's in the chat, for Joanna for the 3 W's in the chat, for Amanda for the 8 W's in the chat, for Fitz Albert for the 2 W's in the chat, for Darn for the 20 W's in the chat, for Jaylena for the 2 W's in the chat, for Kelly for the 2 W's in the chat, for Jimmy for the 5 W's in the chat, for Jennifer for the 2 W's in the chat, for Mario for the 10 W's in the chat, for Michael for the 5 W's in the chat, for Louise for the 30 W's in the chat, for Heather for the 20 W's in the chat, for Kobe for the 10 W's in the chat, for JM for the 5 W's in the chat, for Jennifer for the 3 W's in the chat, for Rochelle for the 5 W's in the chat, for Susan for the 5 W's in the chat, for Jessica for the 20 W's in the chat, for Jose for the 2 W's in the chat, for Alexa for the 5 W's in the chat, for Jennifer for the 2 W's in the chat, for Brittany for the 2 W's in the chat, for Jody Ann for the 5 W's in the chat, for Quentin for the $2.15 W's in the chat, for Sharon for the 5 W's in the chat, for Michael for the 20 W's in the chat, for Emerald for the 5 W's in the chat, for Jill for the 4 W's in the chat, for Joel Raymond for the 5 W's in the chat, for Stacy for the 3 W's in the chat, for Dragon Lover for the 5 W's in the chat, for Gabrielle for the 2 W's in the chat, for Bridget for the 5 W's in the chat, for Cherie for the 10 W's in the chat, for Sheridan for the 2 W's in the chat, for I think it's pronounced Canetta for the 3 W's in the chat, for Bethany for the 10 W's in the chat, for Indigo for the 5 W's in the chat, for Tracy for the 2. All right, we're almost done, guys. I'm so sorry, but we're almost done. Hold on. Woo. Okay, we're almost done. Sorry, guys. You can do it. All right, lock the fuck in, bub. Lock in, chat. Everybody lock the fuck in. Are we good? Does anybody need a bio break? Does anybody need to stand up and stretch? Are we good? All right. We're locked in. Okay. We're almost done. Holy shit. All right. W's in the chat for Mackenzie for the 20. W's in the chat for Bethany for the 1. W's in the chat for Edgar for the 1. W's in the chat for Katrina for the $50 donation. Katrina said fundraiser. Katrina, thank you so much for that $50 donation. You're fucking amazing. W's in the chat for Kayla for the 1. W's in the chat for Roberta for the 5. W's in the chat for Donald for the 2. W's in the chat for Rebecca for the 3. W's in the chat for Sydney for the 5. W's in the chat for Carly for the 5. W's in the chat for Malika for the 2. W's in the chat for Kelly for the 1. W's in the chat for Jeffrey for the 20. W's in the chat for Randy for the 5. W's in the chat for Palinka for the 1. Thank you so much. W's in the chat for Merida for the 20. W's in the chat for MAGA Cries for the 2. W's in the chat for Stephen for the 5. W's in the chat for Amanda for the 5. W's in the chat for John for 10 total. He sent 2 different ones of 5. W's in the chat for Kobe for the 10. W's in the chat for Lori for the 5. W's in the chat for Jenna Ann for the holy shit. W's in the chat for Jenna Ann for the $100. Said for Mr. Sunday Show. W's in the chat for Jenna Ann. Thank you so much. W's in the chat for Shanae for the $4.14. W's in the chat for Michael for the 5. W's in the chat for let me make sure. Luminaris and Fireflies, they sent 2 separate ones of 5. So $10 total, 2 separate ones of 5. W's in the chat. I have to read this one out again, and I have to stop. And like this one was so fucking mind-blowing to me because Elizabeth sent a $500 donation towards mutual aid. And Elizabeth didn't say not one word, just sent the $500. Elizabeth, you are insanely fucking kind. Thank you again. Thank you again for adding $500 towards the mutual aid. Elizabeth, if you are listening, thank you so fucking much. I just had to stop and give a special thank you to Elizabeth. We still should be sending 1 million W's out to Elizabeth. W's in the chat for Kyle for the 15. W's in the chat for Sarah for the 5. W's in the chat for Richard for the 10. W's in the chat for Chewy for the 20. W's in the chat for, oh, okay. These are some more cash apps. I'm going to come back to those. And I read that, and W's in the chat for Ron for the 5. Ron actually sent 2 5s. So W's in the chat for Ron for the 10. And then these are the last couple that came through on Cash App. W's in the chat for Martin for the 25. W's in the chat for, wait, hold on. Let me make sure I see this. Okay. W's in the chat for, I think it's pronounced John for the 1. W's in the chat for Jonathan for the 10. W's in the chat for Brittany for the 1. W's in the chat for Vicky for the 1. W's in the chat for Rochelle for the 5. Guys, we're almost there. W's in the chat for Sarah for the 5. W's in the chat for Marlene for the 5. W's in the chat for Robert for the 15. W's in the chat for Heather for the 20. W's in the chat for Indigo for the $11.11. W's in the chat for Michael for the 25. W's in the chat for Vicky for the 5. W's in the chat for Heather for the $50 donation. Heather said for Mr. Sunday Show, fucking W's in the chat for Heather. Thank you so much, Heather. W's in the chat for Angel for the 2. And last but not least, thank you for locking in with me, chat. W's in the chat for Mario for the $10 donation. Mario said W's. God damn, that was a lot, chat. Holy shit. I'm not gonna lie, my head is hurting. My head is hurting. Holy shit, that was a lot. That was a lot. So just to repeat the total one more time, guys, we were looking to raise a total of $2,000 for Mr. Sunday Show, one of our community members who is facing being unhoused, one of our community members that is behind on bills, that needed help with food. We were looking to raise a total of $2,000, and we raised a total of $2,436.01. And I will be sending that over to Mr. Sunday Show. We will be posting the receipts in the Discord. If you're not a part of the Discord and you want an actual copy, or you want to make sure that the money went to where we said is going, all you have to do is reach out to Kay, and we will make sure that we get you that information. Also, W's in the chat for Bella, who became a member over on YouTube, who's a late night tuber. Guys, if you're on YouTube, make sure you grab a membership, right? It gets you access to the Discord. You get a bunch of really cool access to super chats, and you get like stickers. If you're over on TikTok, become a super fan. And if you're over on Twitch, become a sub. We got 55 subs over on Twitch. So like grab a sub over on Twitch. W's in the chat, seriously, to each and every one of you, because I started this off by saying we had over 1,000 some odd people in the actual 1,000 some odd people that were actually here. And I said, if we all send $2, we could take care of this mutual aid. And I want to say a special thank you to the people that sent $1 and $2, because the people that sent the $1 and $2 are the people that made this thing happen. Special thank you to all the people like Elizabeth. Holy fuck, Elizabeth sent $500. Still $1 million for Elizabeth. Phil started off with $100 with a bang. Fucking W's in the chat for Elizabeth. But for the people where I said, if you send $2 and you did it, and then I said, if we send $1 and you did it, you guys are the ones that made this happen. So fucking thank you to each and every one of you. Each and every one of you made this happen. I am so proud to be in a community with you guys. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And speaking of thank yous, W's in the chat for Swan. What up, Swan?
Hey, Santana. Congratulations, Mr. Sunday. W to everybody that contributed. You know, in addition to the people that sent $1 and $2, I always say shout out to everybody. Like, even if you can't contribute financially, if you are in here tapping, sending your daily heartbeat, sending roses, if you're commenting, if you're sharing the live out, if you're reposting it, posting it on your story, all of those things help to keep us on the FYP. They keep the live going. They bring more people in. So it really is definitely a full community collective effort.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. Swan, I don't think you were in here. I was looking for you earlier. I don't think that you were in here. And I just wanted to make sure that I gave you your flowers. And I know Kay was here, and I told Kay thank you as well. But thank you to you, because without you two bringing this to my attention, none of this would have happened today. So you two are absolutely amazing. I'm just so proud to have both of you as a part of our community in here, and always thinking of others. So thank you for getting in contact with Kay. Thank you to Kay for bringing it to my attention, and thank you to all of the people within our community to pull together to make that happen. Swan, did you hear the grand total?
I did. That is awesome.
Blew it
That
out.
is
the
awesome.
water. Blew it out the water.
That's good. It's this times like these are really chaotic, and I think a lot of times like some of us end up in situations to where we just don't know what the heck we're gonna do. But this is the whole point of having community, right? And why we say mutual aid, right? There is times when a person will be in a difficult space, we'll assist them, but then somebody else will be in a position of where they're going to need assistance, right? So then we will be we'll be able to assist somebody else. But that's, I think, during chaotic times like this, where we're just, listen to everybody in here, it's been one hell of a year under this administration.
It's been about 20 years, Swan. It's been about 20 years in 1 year.
I swear I have mutuals that have more grays just because of like all of the stuff that is going on right now. But I will say, I think that this is the way through, though. Like, community is literally the only way through. I kid you not. This is the only way through. So it's important to have a sense of community, to have a community that you can go to and speak to and rely on. And then also, do that for others as well. And Santana, you facilitated this,
Listen,
shout out to you too.
I am just a humble tool of the mutual aid. I'm a humble tool of my commie friends. If it wasn't for my commie friends, I don't know where I would be.
W communism. WW.
Yeah. Swan, you got anything else for the people?
We just did a smaller portion of the total amount that we're looking to get for the Congo. Unfortunately, we found out like last minute that they were, for one of the houses, there's a new landlord, and they wanted the $2,000 like yesterday for 6 months of rent. So we did it was not last night, but the night before, we did a mutual aid live, and we were just like focused on that 2,000. We actually got it within an hour, which was incredible. I was not expecting that. So, and the good thing is like now they're going to be able to remain housed. The infants and the mothers will remain housed. They don't have to worry about anything for the next 6 months. So we're still going for the other 6 months, but that was something that was like unexpected. We needed to get that right away because of the new landlord. He just wasn't going to budge, but we were able to do it. So shout out to everybody, because there's a lot of people in here that were there too and contributed. So shout out to everybody that contributed. We appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. Swan, are you going to bed? Like, what are you about to do? Because I know you've been up all night.
I am going to sleep. I'm definitely going to be going to sleep. Thanks for having me up. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Really quick, guys. Debbie's in the chat for let's see here. Queen, I think it's pronounced Queen Najda. Queen Najda, who just became a sub over on Twitch. Guys, if you're on Twitch, follow me. But you could also become a sub on Twitch if you have Amazon Prime. You get a free subscription if you have Amazon Prime. And so you can use your free subscription with Amazon Prime over on Twitch to become a sub. So FYI. And Debbie's in the chat as well for Adam Amira, who just followed over on Twitch. All right, guys. That was a lot. Not going to hold you. I'm kind of emotionally spent, intellectually spent. I was tired, boss. And so I'm going to call it here. I'm sure I'll be around these TikTok streets throughout the day. I'm going to try to come back later. I'm pretty sure I'm going to try to come back later, but we'll see. Also, since like it's only my friends still hanging out with me now, it's only the cool people, like everybody else left to go find like some type of conflict. I'm going to tell you guys something. Today, I'm really, really hoping, fingers crossed, to get some good news. So, put some good juju out in the air for me. Like, you know, put some positivity out in the air for me. Hopefully something good will happen today, and we'll see. So if it does, like, I'll be following up with you guys because it will be fucking awesome. So all right, guys, we are going to call it because it's time to go. It's time to go.
You stepped in a box, now you're in the ring. Ain't no hugs here, you better take your best swing.
Wow, wow.
Mike Hot, who wanna step in the flame? This ain't a debate, this a mind game. Facts type lies, get left in chain. One wrong word, get slapped out your name. This ain't TikTok T, this a war zone talk. No script, no filter, no safe walk. Great stats will get scrambled like a glitch. I got fire in my mouth like I came from the pit.
Hey, W's in the chat for the chat. W's in the chat for the chat. You guys are fucking amazing. You're amazing. Each and every one of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of our community. I'm proud of what we do here. You guys make it worth it. You do. Hopefully, I will be back later. At the very least, you're going to see me running around these TikTok streets. I appreciate all of you to the moon and back. Thank you. Not only for the community, thank you for being here. Thank you for being amazing. I am so proud of you. Specifically you and you. I'm so proud of each and every one. I am. I love you guys. Thank you for all the gifts, the taps, the likes, the shares. Thank you all for the mutual aid and taking care of each other. Thank you for being here. I love you all, and as always,